You have just entered the KBMOD podcast. Keyboard plus mouse or die.
Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to episode 118 in 1080p live. If you're listening to this recorded, you missed out. You know what else you missed out on? Hearing me say the godforsaken date. It's November 17th, 2013. It's a Sunday night. It gets dark early. I'm getting depressed because it gets dark early here in California.
Is that
John,
why you're getting depressed?
I think that's part of the reason. There's a lot of other factors, but we don't have enough time on this cast to go through them. John's not here. He is away on some family business. John is away on family.
I think I caught that in there.
He had to attend to some family business, so he's unable to be here. But we've got Blah, myself, Nick Fenton, Dan, and of course Brandon, who's kind enough to his business for today for us.
Hex will be joining us for the roundtable segment later on. So,
and Hexadecimal will be here as well. So, how we doing? How we doing this week, gentlemen?
great.
I feel like shit. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I don't feel good. I don't want to be here.
Okay. Well, what's maybe I thought I was okay.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
When did you start feeling this way?
Like this morning.
Okay. And this is like you feel like you're getting sick kind of feeling?
It's weird. I've had this weird persistent headache for like a week, and now it's just coming to a point where it's just like it feels like my head's gonna explode and I might die on cast, which would be pretty cool. Like if I'm gonna die in my 20s, I'd like it to be in front of like hundreds of people.
Yeah, go ahead and say I'd like that to not happen.
Yeah.
Brandon, I have a quick question.
I would prefer not to die like right now. I didn't really done anything with my life. So I would prefer not to die right now.
But if I'm
going to
done something with your life.
When's 60-second Let's Play coming back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, never. Thanks.
Can I
really helping the headache.
Can I ask a question of Brandon? Brandon may be the one who knows the answer to this. Is someone dying on your stream against the TOS at all?
I don't think that's something you can help.
I feel like if it was...
Unless you're like actually killing them.
Would you remove that VOD if I cut a highlight? That's all I'm asking.
If we get David Alki to do some
Blackliteattack dies on stream. R.I.P. 2013.
No. He would have wanted it. He would have wanted you to run ads on it. That's what he would have wanted.
I would. I want you guys to make that paper.
I'm not sure what the policy is on monetizing death videos.
And should we take that shit to battle cam is the question.
They will.
Well, I'm sorry you're not feeling good, Blah. I hope you feel...
Kind of makes me wonder now, like, has somebody ever died on Twitch?
I don't think on Twitch, but I'm sure it's happened like on other services probably.
Yeah, like there's so many people streaming on Twitch, like you think there's gotta be or there's gonna be.
I'm sure someone died. They probably were streaming from their Call of Duty, what was it? Modern Warfare 2 or whatever, no, Black Ops 2, and they probably had 0 viewers, and they probably died, and no one cared or watched. Wow! The saddest death ever. Someone probably cardiac arrest, their wife came in and found them laying there, the 45-year-old dude drinking his beer. The only thing he had in his life was streaming Xbox, 0 viewers on Twitch, and he died alone.
Could be. Somebody probably just suffered a brain aneurysm in the middle of their live Jasmine strip show. And a bunch of really weird fetishes were born that day because a bunch of people had their dicks in their hands when it happened.
Bearded villain in chat. I've seen a crippled man magically walk. I feel like someone has to have died. That's true.
I forgot about that.
Also, lest we forget, on Justin TV, Weedman or whatever his name was.
Marijuanaman?
Robbed
on stream.
He got robbed on stream, and he got the shit kicked at him with a fucking wrench. Yeah. So, Jesus. I mean, that's close.
That's pretty
terrifying.
That video is actually kind of scary because you're watching a bank get robbed.
Terrifying.
Were they in masks in that video? Or were they...
I don't think they did, if I remember.
They're idiots, then.
Well, gotcha, bitch. Got doxxed.
You should have been screaming that the webcam's on. Or something.
I think that's kind of the risk you run streaming your whole life.
Yeah,
there's bound to be stuff like that happens. I have to imagine that's probably part of the reason that Justin TV ended up sort of changing the business model because streaming your entire life, it sounds like a cool idea until you realize there's a ton of stuff that would be pretty awful if it got recorded.
Ever. Yeah.
Like getting beat with a wrench for your weed
live.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, random things happen you don't plan on in life that you don't want people to see.
Yeah, you have sex with your girlfriend after you play some League, dude.
Yeah.
And you leave that webcam on.
Yeah.
Like, that's just life, you know?
Hey.
What was formerly a pretty good night is all of a sudden ruined.
Yeah. Dead ass, though.
Or heightened, depending on your point of view.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, well, yeah, it's true. Depending on what you're into.
So what have we been playing?
Yeah.
Playing Battlefield 4 right now.
I'm playing
Pretty
Smite right
goddamn
now.
big game.
Yeah,
And
pretty
your
bad at
camera's
it.
on light, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, you're welcome. My Smite
Mike has
game's
already
going-
passed on. Speaking of people that have died, he's speaking from the orb.
We already won. We won our game, just so you guys
Nick
know.
Fenn's heading towards the light
Yep.
with his webcam.
It's a really slow process. It doesn't look like we're getting any closer. So
Speaking of orb,
yes.
Oh.
Man.
Oh, my
The-
goodness.
raising that
Yeah,
money.
I do have this little note here. It's not like our total, because one thing, Jordan's shirt money has not come into there yet. He did announce that on Twitter, I believe, and it's like 10 grand coming in from the shirts.
Jesus.
But we are going to pass Rooster Teeth when that happens.
Yeah, right.
To be number one again. But we are right now at 184,700 roughly, I think. Let me go there.
I don't think we're passing Rooster Teeth.
Oh, really?
No.
They're not listed as high as... Okay. We're at 187,269. So there you go. That's what we're at. 187,000. Oh, 340? Oh, wow. It's not listed that way, oddly enough.
I don't know.
But whatever.
It's not about the contest there. I mean, it's about
Whatever.
You know.
We'll be hitting close
It
to
is.
200,000, which is
well,
absolutely
okay.
insane.
Listen, if we have to keep forcing new people to join who are much larger than us every year in order to be
will.
the top team, I'm fine with that.
2016, Barack Obama!
Barack Obama just streams Killing Floor for 24 hours. Like
Hey,
he's
he ain't president
Killing
no
Floor.
more in 2016. He do whatever the fuck he want. Yeah, turn up. Yo, my
I
second
swear to
term
God,
is
I'm a
over.
berserker.
Let me stream some
Oh, well, I
Warfare 3.
didn't know Rooster Teeth was at that because they're only at
They sold
186,900.
posters and stuff, sort of the way Jordan did, and they donated like 155 grand from that.
So
Yeah.
Can I
so-
verify that? I didn't see any bank statements or PDFs on Reddit from that. So I would like to confirm that before we say that they donated.
It's on their donation page. It's
yeah,
on their
right.
team's
Well,
donation.
anyway.
In that case,
Anyway,
I
we're gonna
accept
be-
it.
we're going to be close to $200,000, and we can't thank you guys enough.
Yes.
All we did was play video games, and you guys just
We're gonna
gave-
come close to doubling our goal, like our original goal of 100,000. Which
We're also
is
going to come close to doubling our
unbelievable.
total to charity as KBMOD just from this event. So we're going to be at around $300,000 raised as a community for charity. So thank you guys so much. That was something I didn't think we even thought about when we started this, but it's become such a big part of it. So thank you to all the fat greasy nerds out there.
Yep.
Orc's
Raised-
stream was really good too. I tuned into his stream when he was taking $180 donations to play at 180 FOV in Call of Duty,
That's a genius.
and that
Nice.
turned out about as you'd expect.
So he played with 180 FOV, and it looked like you're 50 feet tall when you look at yours. And he scoped in, and when he would scope in, it looked like the sniper scope was like a dot in the middle of his screen. Like
It
you
was
couldn't
way
even-
better when he played with 10 FOV.
Yes, 10 FOV
It
was
was 10
ridiculous.
FOV, and it was just gross. It was like like
Call
playing
of
on
Duty.
Xbox.
Okay. Yeah.
Ha ha.
Those were
Got him.
I got it.
If you
Yeah,
haven't heard
that's
from, by the way,
why-
if you haven't heard from us about winning an item yet, you will hear from us very soon. We're taking care of all that like ASAP. But there's been a lot of aftermath that we've had to just. We will take care.
Oh, so he played with 313 FOV. For the 313.
Yeah, it's great. It's already posted. It's on YouTube. Just search Incredible Orb 313 live, and you will find it. It's great. 'cause
Wait, breaking news.
What's breaking news?
Breaking news. Hex found a porno
Yes,
tape
it's
in his
great.
ceiling drop, and that's pretty awesome.
No.
A VHS of porn, and it's called Headhunter.
And it's called Headhunter. God.
Wow.
Damn.
So
Twist, he actually didn't find that in his roof, and it's his.
I think I've told this story before. That reminds me, my friend Jeremiah redid a whole house. He bought a house for like $20,000. Like, it was falling apart, but the intention was to redo the whole thing. So he's redone the whole thing, but in the walls he found a bunch of real seedy 70s homemade porn shots.
Ooh,
of
Jesus.
Like, yeah, it was real weird. Apparently the dudes that lived there in the 70s just brought girls home and photographed them nude a bunch like that. That was what they did. It's a stack. It's like a 6-inch stack of Polaroids from the 70s. It's pretty ridiculous.
There was a lot of bush.
Yeah. Oh, whew,
they were
fucking
rocking that
forest out there, mate. You know.
That was
look at those photos
untamed
without a
wilds
machete.
right there.
Chop through.
So yeah, Orb Stream Extra Life. You did well. Homemade porno, pretty cool too. That's what we've learned in the beginning.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll go first.
You go first. You're not streaming the cast this week, so you get the honor of going first.
I've played now 61 hours of Battlefield 4 in 2 weeks.
That is a lot of Battlefield 4.
So that happened, and I love it a lot. I'm not sick of it at all. The patch they put out seems to have fixed most of the crashes.
I still crash a lot in between maps.
It's in between maps. That's exactly.
But I guess I'd rather crash in between maps than during a map. So, as far as crashes go, it could be worse, but still.
Yep, I've also been getting back into that YouTube game a little bit, which is weird.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Comments are weird. I don't understand.
No one's discussed that, actually. Should we just have a whole roundtable cast?
Let's just talk. We can talk
there's
about
no point. They're broken, and it's stupid.
Let's talk to Nick Fenton,
Guys, let's just
YouTube
this.
analyst.
No one's been tweeting about this or making videos, so I'm totally unaware.
Well, it's not even that it's necessarily broken. It's that a lot of the problems with the comment section is the people. A lot of the problems is the people. It's the people that are continuing to spam and to do their stupid Bob's Army bullshit and all this like ASCII fucking drawings that are fucking.
Which, by the way, Bob needs to stop investing in tanks, because what if Google goes to the ocean? I mean, then all your tanks are fucking worthless, Bob. Good job. You got, 3 helicopters. How fucking dumb are you?
It's just dumb.
You're going up against Google.
The other side of that too is though, I was scrolling through other big YouTubers to see if they disable comments, and they do. And guess what? The views are the same. So what does that tell you? Comments are fucking meaningless. It's cancer anyway. That's what we always say. So who gives a fuck?
What some people are doing is they're disabling comments and then leaving their own comment in there that links to a Reddit thread.
Oh my god, that's way too much work. Who gives a fuck?
I mean,
I just don't. I'm not big enough to care, so I just don't care. But I just don't care.
Go to a Reddit thread? My god.
I was never someone who responded to comments often at all or anything like that. So, except for the one time I told the guy that his whole family should die horrible deaths. But that was just that one time.
That was pretty strong.
That was just.
I remember commenting in relation to your video was just telling that you're a fucking nerd and you should get out of your parents' basements and stuff like that.
You did.
For 30 videos straight, it was just making you feel terrible. And then
seems like transitioning YouTube comments into Reddit is really just the natural progression.
Oh god,
that's true. That's true.
Well, isn't that what the comment section? That's basically what the new comment section was supposed to be kind of like. It was like the top, you see all of the top rated ones, and it's essentially that. But
I just love that people get so just so upset about it, it's their right. I mean, I know YouTube doesn't do things right, but it's, first of all, you're using a free service. Yeah. Second of all, comments are essentially worthless. If you're going in your own comments as a guy and reading through them, if you're a huge YouTuber, you're not doing that. Guarantee it anyway. I find it really, it's just really fun.
You don't know their fan bases.
Oh man.
Fuck
Google Plus, guys. Well, to be fair, it's a cool idea. I understand why you would want to have all of your networks linked together, like your YouTube, Google Plus, all that stuff in one. It's like one big ecosystem. But the problem is it's too convoluted and dumb.
Nobody fucking uses it, and nobody wants to use it because it's really bad.
The whole connection there. I still don't understand. I tried to reply to somebody on my video yesterday, and I didn't know how to do it because something in Google Plus or something like that. So I was like, I give up. So
can I just respond to something in chat real quick? Google Plus is so shitty. I actually think Google Plus is pretty good.
It's okay.
It's
just
actually not bad at all. I'd rather use it than Facebook any day, all day. But That's besides the point. Integrating with everything, maybe not the smartest idea, but the service itself, not bad.
I think forcing integrations where it doesn't make sense is what people have a problem with. Like YouTube and Google Plus didn't need to be together because YouTube already had like its own community before Google bought it, and those people are still there using YouTube, and now you're forcing them, like the whole forcing you onto your real name and stuff is like not even good internet security practice. Like you shouldn't be posting around comments and stuff on your real name. Like that's pretty dumb. So I can see the uproar because like I don't like it either. I'm not going to post on YouTube as my real name, like my full name, so that you can see what comments I make, and then like Google my real name and, you know, find my entire life history on the internet because of like one comment I made. That's silly.
Yeah. Well, so
don't use it.
I started doing that again. I've also been playing lots of Hearthstone. Got back on the Hearthstone, and I have to admit this right now because Rohan beat me today. He had challenged me to a 1v1, and Rohan, the dickish Australian troll that he is, he beat me in our game, and I am upset about it. I'll tell you that. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone. And BF4, and that's it. Like I haven't really done anything but BF4, to be honest. I played Ghosts for about 30 minutes one day. And I was like, yeah, this game is not BF4. It's definitely not. I definitely clicked the wrong
actually,
thing.
If you shoot the logs, they fall over. So.
Whoa. It is BF, yeah. It's Battlefield. Battlefield's in there. You just have to look for it, Dan. You're not
okay, do I?
Yeah.
Because all I know is that, and I said this last week, but I've had more like epic, ridiculous moments in BF4 than I ever have in COD. Because like COD, it's like, oh man,
I don't think an epic moment in Call of Duty is the same kind of epic moment you're going to have in Battlefield.
No, it's definitely not. Yeah, no. Like
an epic moment in Call of Duty is like getting a sick no scope or like killing 10 guys in a row. Like
whereas
an epic moment in Battlefield is like shooting a Jeep that's coming at you and then crouching and it flying over your face.
I think in Battlefield there's so many more moments that seem very one of a kind and unique. Like if you randomly shoot a rocket, you know, at an aircraft way in the distance and you happen to hit it, that's like a once in a lifetime kind of shot. Whereas in Call of Duty, even if you get like a 20 kill streak or something, that's really awesome. But there are like 1,000 YouTube videos of the same thing.
Yeah, true.
Yep. Yeah, but like when I put up a video of me sniping a helicopter with a tank. Like I'm sure that'll happen really cool. Again. Like, but I had never done it before, and I was like fucking psyched that had occurred. Like,
I mean, I did some basic
coolest
shit,
thing ever.
I did some basic shit today and got hyped over it. I hit a guy in a speedboat with a sniper rifle and knocked him right out of it when he was going like fucking 60 miles an hour. It felt cool, and I'm sure a million people have done that, but just to me as a new Battlefield player, I haven't really played this franchise a whole lot. I was like, god damn, this is fucking awesome. Are you kidding me? Giant tanker ship just fucking crashes onto the beach in the middle of a hurricane. It's cool. Yeah. It's a cool game. There's just so much happening at any given time. It's absolute chaos, and I love it.
Like, I don't know. It's just the scale of that game. It feels better than the big maps on BF4 feel a lot better to me than the big maps on BF3. Like, I was level 21 in BF3, so I played, you know, probably 20, 30 hours somewhere in there, and I never, ever got the same vibe as I get in BF4.
No.
I think it is the maps for me, almost 100%. I've said this a million times.
The maps are way better.
About different games, too, about Call of Duties. Like, for me, if the maps are bad, like, I can't really enjoy the game. Like Black Ops 1, I loved almost everything.
Yeah.
So I love playing that game. Black Ops 2, well, not a bad game. I didn't like the maps really.
It was
that much.
It was real iffy on a lot of the maps.
Yeah. So I mean, in Modern Warfare 3, of course, that being the biggest down point with COD for me, those were the first maps as a collection.
I don't think there was any map in any Modern Warfare 3 rotation ever where I was like, yeah, I love this map. Vote for that one.
All right.
No, the Modern Warfare 3 discussion is always like, all right, what's not the fucking worst out of this pile? It's like,
well, would you just sit there and be like, is it Dome? It's not Dome? Shit. Oh, damn it.
Vote for the brown and green map, guys.
So I mean, that is honestly, I'm pretty boring this week compared to most weeks. But I do have one last game to share, and this one's kind of also a slight news piece. We got to check out Contrast when it came out Friday. I did not know this at the time, but the game got pretty bad reviews. Nick watched me play part of it.
Yeah.
Game came out in full version. I played it at PAX East. I thought this is one of the coolest ideas.
Like watching it seemed really like an interesting idea.
So this game, basically, the gist is it's a platformer puzzle game, but you use shadows, so your character can meld into shadows and use them as platforms. And you can adjust like light sources to kind of change like height of the platforms and that kind of thing to get to different things. You want to collect luminaires to like turn lights on and that kind of thing. The movement is all sorts of wacky. It just feels weird.
Like just watching you, I could tell like it was almost like really touchy feeling. Like from what I was watching and like real, just not good, not precise what you want in a platformer.
Yeah, it controls really bad. I follow you in chat. Said, yeah, I agree. It just doesn't feel good. And then the game also feels unfinished. It just feels like they were like, well, we had to meet PS4 release because they signed on to be a PS4 release game pretty late, like maybe September, and they had a lot of hype, but they went into that, so I think they were like, well, we have to get this done by November 15th. I mean, so they put it out. The music in that game is amazing, but it's never playing during gameplay. Like, it's just not there. I noticed that as well.
That's weird.
And it's just like, I played it for an hour. We did like kind of a first look kind of thing on the Friday stream, which I've done before. But as it is right now, until they patch it, if they even do patch it, I wouldn't recommend it, even at $15. It's just, I don't know. It it just doesn't feel good to control, and the game doesn't feel finished. Just flat out doesn't feel finished. So I wouldn't recommend it right now. But that was the other game I played. But just BF4 all day, every day. Yeah, that's me. That's me, mate.
Well, I'll go next because I was going to talk more about BF4. So I was able to get a copy of BF4. Luckily I was able to get it through a connection, so didn't have to pay full price and such. So that made me feel better about it because I didn't know if I would get $60 worth of value out of it. Right off the bat, I think it's definitely a better game than BF3, and I'm gonna eat my words from back before BF3 came out when we were dissing Battlelog, because at the time I did not like Battlelog and I thought it was a poor idea. Battlelog now is pretty awesome. Like they have actually,
it is pretty damn good.
I'm gonna say right now, I think Battlelog is a pretty big innovation. Like the fact that it is so well integrated now with the game, especially like the battle screen stuff, being able to have the map up on another monitor while you're in game, all that stuff is pretty cool. And Battlelog now is not the Battlelog of 2 years ago.
Definitely not.
It's works really well now, but I still think
I still don't like not
I would rather
game,
just give me an in-game server browser and I can put the map stuff in a browser on my second monitor if I want to.
I agree. Like I think I would like to see both.
I agree. I agree with you there.
There's no reason they couldn't just put this same interface in the game and give people the option. But the fact that they do allow you to do all this from a web interface and from like a phone app and stuff, I think is pretty amazing. And like it actually works, I think, as well as they initially promised back when they first created it. It was not good, and now it's actually like completely serviceable. Like everything works pretty well. So I had to point that out because that's a pretty remarkable change from when they launched it with BF3.
Yep. Yeah, and I also think the way it gives you, if you haven't dug into the options, some of the menus are still really convoluted in there. But
the leaderboard screen like confuses me. That brings up the map. Like I don't even know what I'm looking at. Like why am I like
removing?
My friends are all in. It's like puts your friends on different areas of the map and stuff. It's just really dumb.
Have you tried to remove a friend?
I don't know how to. I don't.
I think you have to.
I think you have to go through Origin, don't you?
No. Okay, so I'm gonna do it right now because it's so complicated.
You send them an official breakup.
Need you.
Snail mail letter. Then they remove it.
No, I like Battlelog. I'm with Brandon on this. I'm also with Nick that it should have just been in game. But what you have to do is click on your name, go to your profile, then you have to. Oh God, I'm already lost. So how do I do this? There's a way to get to your full list of friends.
Oh, I got it. I found it. Yeah,
and
you have to go to your profile, then view all friends.
Yeah, and then you can remove
X.
them there with an X, but you can't do it on the list on the side for some reason.
The way I've done it is just open up Origin and say, nah.
Well, anyway, I still think the fact that they've gotten it to where it is now is pretty impressive, and I actually like Battlelog now. Like, I think the battle screen stuff and all that actually adds something to the game, and for like, regardless of your opinion on Battlelog, you cannot now say that Battlefield is not innovating in a way that Call of Duty is not, because that's demonstrably false. Like, Battlelog is a pretty big innovation in gaming. Whether it improves your experience or not is your opinion, but like, this is a pretty big undertaking that no other game's really done.
Okay, to say that they're innovating in a way that it's kind of redundant, because Call of Duty it doesn't innovate.
Yeah, but the comparison is often made because these are like the two large shooter franchises.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And so like I look at Battlefield 4, and it's not like the game. In a lot of ways, if you just look at Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 in a screenshot next to each other, they look similar. But I think the improvements behind the scenes, like the fact that Battlelog is not garbage and things like that, like that's what makes Battlefield 4 a better game. That being said, I like Battlefield 4. It's still, like, playing it can be incredibly frustrating. There are so many different ways to die because the game is so complex.
Yes.
That it is so frustrating to just die randomly from whether it's a sniper across the map, whether it's a helicopter that you have no chance of killing. I don't know what my complaint is there, other than like there's just so much going on, and it's so easy to die from so many different places that you can get on like 5 and 10 death streaks and just hate playing it and want to rage out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's something I don't think, like, that's something you don't get with a game like Call of Duty. It's a lot more predictable. Right. It's gunplay, grenades, like the elements are similar enough that you don't die random weird deaths that really make you annoyed. But I've gotten that a lot in Battlefield.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you are completely powerless, and that kind of sucks. But it's also like, if you know a tank's there, don't fucking run towards it. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that that's what happened, but like...
No, it's usually like me dying when I'm prone behind a hill, but I guess my hitbox can still be hit or something, and I die to someone who, like, from my vantage point, was not even visible. That kind of thing has happened so many times that it's... like, that's why it's become annoying, because I don't even know how to avoid those deaths. I really think probably what would fix a lot of that is spawn protection. There's 0 spawn protection, and you have you fade from black when you spawn, and it's like a half-second long fade from black, but you can be shot and move during the time when you can't even see the screen. That is asinine to me. So there's a few things that like are pretty easy fixes that I think would make the game a lot more enjoyable. But it's still good.
So
wow, can you stop typing in Skype too? Because you're making noise.
Why do you have noises on?
Because I don't normally host the cast.
Well, maybe you should be prepared.
Turn it off, Brandon.
You're not ready for this responsibility, Brandon. You've demonstrated.
It'd be unfortunate if I just hit the little red end call button.
Oh.
No!
Podcast canceled. Brandon's salty.
Forever.
All right, Blah, you're next.
Also, I played Hearthstone and League of Legends ARAMs.
Boom.
Okay. Well, I'm playing Battlefield right now. I feel like I'm trying to make up some lost time because I only just got it yesterday, and I didn't get it working until everybody had stopped playing. There are a few people playing, but you know, like the whole Skype call was dead and everything, or Mumble call was dead. Much frustrated. I played try to get everything under the sun to work that doesn't want to work, and just dealing with all these just fucking asinine decisions that companies have been making recently. Personally, I don't like Battlelog as somebody who just started using it. I only just installed Origin yesterday. First time I finally installed Origin. And I don't like Battlelog. I feel like it's really unintuitive, and I don't like the interface. I guess is my problem, which I will get used to. That's fine. That's not a big deal. But I don't. I'm trying to get. I don't know. It just like when I opened up Battlefield and I was like, I clicked it in Origin. I was like, yeah, launch my fucking game, and then it opened up my browser tab. I was like, ugh. No, why? Like, it just, no. It feels sick to my tummy. I don't like this. It just felt wrong. And that's obviously me just being set in my ways. And again, I will get used to it. But it's not my favorite method. I think one thing that really annoyed me, though, was that there was some weird issue with my drivers, and it said that DirectX 10 wasn't compatible with my video card, which isn't fucking true, by the way. And I had to sit there and wait in the server queue, which was in the browser, for like 5 positions. So like 5 of these nerds had to quit the server that everybody was playing on. And then when I finally get through the queue, it's like, oh, dude, your card's shit. Why would you bring this card? You couldn't have told me that before I was ready to get put into the game. So now I have to figure out what the hell your problem is, Battlefield, and then which I did, not a big deal, just updated my drivers. But then on top of that, I have to go back in the queue because of that bullshit.
I do think it's a little bit jarring to like be in queue on the website, and it doesn't launch the game, or it launches the game, but then you don't really get any notification until all of a sudden it pops up and sort of interrupts whatever you were doing that's not the game. So I agree that it would be nice if the Battlelog stuff was also in game for people that preferred that method, but I can also see why they didn't do that.
No reason for it to be entirely browser based that I can.
Well, I'm sure it's a lot of work to actually put all that functionality in, and they have to update the game client if they make changes. The advantage of Battlelog is they can change that stuff all on the fly, and they don't have to issue a patch.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I hate work as much as the next guy, but I don't also like command the entire universe with my billions of dollars. EA, thank you. But anyway. Aside from that, I also played the get my mouse drivers to work with Mumble game. That was a shit game. Wasn't really happy with the performance on that one. So randomly, Mumble decided, well, you just can't use your push to talk key anymore. I like to use this button right here on my thumb. You know, it's mouse 3 for anybody who gives a shit, which is no one. But for some reason, it just wasn't taking. For no reason. I mean, this is my back button on my browser as well, and that was working fine for all intents and purposes. Otherwise, that was working just dandy. So I try to set my push-to-talk key. It's just not working for some reason, and it's accepting anything on my keyboard that it jolly well pleases, but for some reason, I just can't get it to accept anything on my mouse. So I'm like, okay, that makes no sense. I guess I'll update my drivers. I'm going to be getting some error message from Razer occasionally when I boot up, which is weird. But okay, fine. I'll just fucking update my drivers. I have to install a client, an entire client, Razer client. And sign up for an account to update my mouse driver so that it can save my mouse settings in the fucking cloud. Because I want to keep my fucking mouse sensitivity online. Because everything is online for no reason. Things that don't need to be online, just I don't know. You fucking like next time I go to a restaurant and the fucking lady asks what I want, and the waitress comes out, what do you want? How do you want your eggs done? Oh, well, all that's in the cloud. Don't you know that? Why don't you get a goddamn internet connection and load up my eggs app on the fucking smartphone and figure out how I like my eggs? And you know what? Maybe I'm feeling like scrambled today when normally I like fried. But no, you know what? If I did feel like that, it would have been in the cloud, bitch.
This is the part of the podcast where Nick sounds like a 68-year-old woman.
You're the next Phil Fish.
Get mad like me because I'm mad. And it's so fucking dumb. Why do I need to save my mouse sensitivity settings and my keyboard? You know, like I was like, you know what? Prove me wrong, Razer. Once I finally not only installed the app, but also had to restart my fucking computer in order to get it to work. Once I had done that, I loaded up this client that I just installed, and I was like, all right, prove me wrong. Impress me. And it was like, here are your bindings. Left mouse button is bowed to left click. Oh, what? No shit. Are you kidding me? I got my left mouse button on left click. This shit is revolutionary.
Sounds like you should probably just get a PS4.
I might, and just forget all this ever happened. Thanks, Razer. You are a great guy. So that's why I finally got it working. After rage quitting KBMOD, so I shouldn't even be here right now because I quit. because you guys are a bunch of assholes and not helpful in the least, and seemed to delight in my suffering. And then I also played some Hearthstone and some Final Fantasy 14. I feel like everybody abandoned Final Fantasy 14. Don't
worry, dude. I'm still on that train.
I haven't seen you on in the last person that had been on had been on like 5 days ago. Yeah, which is around when BF4 came out, is it not?
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll be back.
Yeah, everybody's just playing BF4 right now. I'm playing BF4 right now, like literally right now.
You're a tank, so I have something to do now.
Yeah, well, I'm leveling a tank. My tank is like 25 or so. So he's got a ways to go.
You can just run dungeons forever and never.
Yeah, and the great part is that my level is saved in the cloud. So, which is like every other MMO character, but that's what I did this week.
Scott?
What did I do? This week I played a lot of CSGO. I have started to come around on CSGO. I actually like it now. I don't know why, but it's happening, and I'm just going to go with it. I'm playing a lot of ranked. Finally ranked back up to my original placement. Takes a lot of games, so streaming a lot of that. I don't know. I like Go a lot, so I'm gonna keep playing it. I did buy BF4. I haven't had much chance to play it this weekend, but when I first got it, talking to the frustration, I was just joining random servers, and I just kept joining games that were almost over, getting free losses. A couple games were teams I was playing Rush, and no one would rush, and we were getting just spawn destroyed. So I had a really frustrating.
Rush is not very good.
Yeah, introduction to that. So. But yeah, I mean, it runs fine with my GTX 470 on medium settings at 1440 by 900. The game looks damn good, so you can all go fuck yourself, including Linus. So yeah, really enjoying not having to upgrade my video card. So
no, like I was actually somewhat concerned when you bought it. I was like, I hope that shit actually runs. Are you running on low or like medium?
No, medium settings.
Because I will say this. That game, especially after this patch, that shit is optimized so well.
Yeah.
It is incredible how they did it.
The single player runs really, really terribly. Like, I tried to play the single player just because I was going to show Hillary.
By the way, another rant on single player before you continue. DICE and EA, right? I fucking love your game. I've played it like nearly a work week during these past 2 weeks, all right? Why the fuck are there single player unlocks for multiplayer weapons? I don't understand.
Well,
why do I have to get the best LMG from the fucking single player campaign? And not only that, but you get a different weapon from each ending of the fucking single player. It's like, go fuck yourself.
Oh, man,
that is so
choices.
Fucking stupid. Fuck you. You're not Spec Ops The Line. You never will be. Stop trying. No game will ever duplicate that. You're fucking Battlefield. Stick to what you know. All right? Jesus. Fucking terrible.
I was trying to play the single player, and I couldn't because it was stuttering and hitching something terrible, even though...
65 FOV. Look at that.
No, but it was unplayable, and I think they're the same client. Because my video settings transferred and everything from the multiplayer, but the single player was completely unplayable. So, I don't know what's going on. There's still some issues to work out, but multiplayer runs really nicely on SLI.
Also, screw you, Nick Fenton. Spec Ops The Line is a fantastic game.
Yeah, he still hates that game. Hates it so much.
Still really average.
Okay.
Still really above average.
Okay. Well, you and it have something in common then, so GG. All right. I'm going to... what else did I... Oh, well, I also... I also played Condition Zero for 20 minutes on my fucking Machinima Show stream. And then I beat Nick Fenton. What am I thinking? I beat Nick Fenton in a 1v1 on Modern Warfare 2 Rust.
You actually didn't. Because your final kill was a hard scope and not a trick shot, so you actually fucking disqualified yourself. That's like hitting the fucking 8-ball in early. You fucking lost. I won.
I didn't lose.
You don't know.
Are you saying you killed Nick Fenton? That meme is dead, Scott. Jesus.
No,
hard scoped.
I at one point thought you were actually playing bad on purpose, and then I realized I was just...
No, because I thought we were fucking going to play on PC, and then the day of, you're like, oh, yeah, Xbox. And I'm like, oh, cool. Yep. Let me tell you about the last time I played a Call of Duty on Xbox.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but you play with the controller more often than me, so...
I play Halo, and Halo is a completely different control scheme.
Sounds like excuses. So I beat Nick Fenton in that, and then what else did I play? Oh, because there was another show. We played the Lego games and sucked at. I've never played a Lego game really, so
they're so good, man.
Yeah. Well, now that I know the mechanics, I would play more Lego games. They were very fun. And then what else? Play? Oh yeah, I played Battlefield 4. So that was pretty much that was it for me. Nothing too varied. A lot of.
By the way, I watched Condition Zero.
Oh God.
What a game, dude.
The single player deleted scenes, dude. What a fucking. Absolutely, just such.
I love how it told you zero direction to go.
No,
it was just like, yeah, you had no idea where to go.
Kill the enemies. Yeah. So that's about it for me, as far as what I played.
I played Smite as usual, Mirror's Edge as usual, Battlefield 4. I don't think I've actually played a whole lot this week. Yeah, I think that's it. That sounds right.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Oh, I also watched a lot of skins, by the way. This isn't a game, but it is like a game for me because I'm using it during my normal game time. And let me tell you, Skin Season 3 at the beginning, real shitty. Then gets somewhat good towards the end.
I told you.
But you're right. No, you're right. And then Season 4
there's total really humps. Good. There's total humps. It's the same thing with... He's just annoying during all of it. Ever. It's the same thing in Season 5, though. Like, you're just like, nah, I'm not feeling this.
Yeah. It is like a game. I have to learn all these new characters, and then the next season is the actual new.
Yeah, you got a micro.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
All right. Well, that is it for our initial segment here. We're going to go ahead and run a 2-minute commercial break, and then we'll be back with the news.
I'll run that for you, Dan.
All righty.
Run a couple of them. Everyone spam the button.
We should. I don't know what happens if we both hit it.
I think it just doesn't queue up so a bunch of us do it.
Well, you can only hit the button once every 8 minutes.
It doesn't do anything.
Well, then what do I thought you could double it up because I thought people would always be like, "Why am I getting so many ads?" And I just assumed.
No, it's just if you run 2 minutes, you might get multiple commercials to fill the 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go get another beer. We're doing this.
I'm gonna go take this. Get mad.
I'm not upset about your urination. I'm happy you're doing. If Blah pissed himself in the cast, I don't know what I'd do.
That'd be great.
I saw your tweet about your daughter earlier today.
Yeah, my daughter she straight up. So my wife gave the kids a bath, and my daughter got out of the bath, and she's 2, just barely 2. She just turned 2 in September. And she walked in a room and took a squat. Just shit on the floor.
Wow. Well, how do you take
and then
that?
I walk.
How do you deal
She's
with
like,
that?
Dan, get up here. And I come upstairs, and I just look at Zoe standing there naked, pointing at her shit on the floor.
God.
And I'm like, yep, you did that. And then when my wife was cleaning up the poop, she pissed on the floor.
Oh my God.
This is why you put diapers on small children.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I think it's a direct result of your 2 dogs. She's like learning. She's watching them.
She might.
I think she just takes after. I think she takes after her father in deciding when people are going to get destroyed.
Yeah. No, she was super proud. She was very proud of it. She's like, poo floor. Poo floor. She's like, and my wife is like, Mama's gonna clean it up. Mommy clean, and then just demanded it be cleaned up. I did this, now you do this. Clean
fucking
this
gross.
Did you stick her nose in it? Winter. Yeah, it's like bad.
All right, we're back from commercial.
I forgot to get a beer because I was talking about my daughter pooping.
We now interrupt your scheduled programming to bring you an urgent broadcast from the front lines of America.
So, we're back with the news. Of course, the big news this week. Cannot deny we are a PC gaming.
I didn't know this.
But some game console launched Friday. The PlayStation Quad or something.
You would never know it was a game console because games, right? Haha.
It doesn't really have very many. But the PS4 launched. I actually put out a little poll on, not a poll. I was just like, does anybody who follows me buy a PS4? I got several responses in the positive. Apparently,
I sold
it runs
in 24 hours.
Apparently, it runs BF4 on what would appear to be like medium PC settings at a constant 60 FPS, which
I believe it's downscaled to 720 though. But I think we had a conversation during the week. Still, I said I'd rather have 60 FPS downscaled 720 than 1080 30.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've heard, and the reviews, I did read many reviews, including Polygon's extremely stylized review, which is very impressive. But great piece of hardware, no games. That's kind of the consensus right now.
That's kind of always how launches go, though.
Yeah, that's a launch, though.
Yeah, but Xbox has some good games, I guess.
They have more games. I don't think it's necessarily they have good games lined up. They just seem to have more games.
Well, it's not out yet. We can't say that.
If you buy a console on launch day, we
can't say they're good games, but
you're either a giant fucking nerd, you're a YouTuber, you have too much money that you don't give a fuck about, or you're a giant fucking nerd. So choose one of those four options. And I think in any case, if it's like for work or whatever else, or it's sent to you for free, totally acceptable. If you're just a giant fucking nerd, then you should feel bad. And you should wait until games come out.
There are going to be the people that know they're going to buy one eventually and just want to kind of be in on the hype, which I can understand if you are a console gamer. But I mean, it's definitely worth your while to wait if you can, just because there will be like better bundles.
Okay, no, I should clarify. If you're going to complain about games and you buy something day one, then you shouldn't complain.
Yeah.
I think
all right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, don't tell me
because it never is.
What I'm saying is
Take that stuff to Reddit.
Once people
I'm gonna make a meme
about it. Here's my whole thing. Once people saw The Crew and Watch Dogs get delayed, yes, I believe The Crew may be PS4 only, or maybe I'm nuts.
But I don't think Watch Dogs
is on both. Well, it was very close.
It was launch. It was launch window. It was launch window.
It would have been Tuesday. Tuesday is when it would have come out. But PS4 got kind of castrated by all those delays, to be honest, because they were pitching those as launch titles, even though they were multi-platform. But the fact is, I have to agree with Scott, because if you're buying console, like I didn't buy a 360 until 2008 or 2009. Like that's like 3 or 4 years after launch. But you don't get to see the full potential of what a developer can do on one of these things until 3 or 4 years into it. It doesn't happen. I mean, you're like Rise. I've seen Rise. It's not going to run at that much better of a frame rate than it did at Prime, and that shit looks incredible, but it plays like garbage. It's a tech demo.
It's like, hey, look at how much we can push, but I mean, obviously not pushing it efficiently. But the thing is, the other day I was trying to justify going and getting a PlayStation, and in my mind, my justifications actually make sense except for one thing. The thing is, I'm gonna get a PS4 like within probably 6 months, and there's not gonna be a price drop in 6 months. That's fucking guaranteed. There's probably not gonna be a price drop for the next like 2 to 3 years, I'd say. So I mean, there's no point in me not getting one.
Yeah, the only people who should.
Except it's November, and I'm poor, and I need to buy a $600 plane ticket to go back to Minnesota for Christmas. That is the reason I didn't get a PS4. Like, there you go.
There you go. Sick Fenton's reason. My reason is that the game I play on console, the main game, doesn't matter until next year. That new Ignite engine or whatever the fuck on EA Sports. So when I get NHL next year, maybe I'll get a PS4, but. Until then, once The Division, I've said this before on here, once The Division got announced for PC, that pretty much shot all aspirations I had of getting a new console out of the water. Because then I was like, why would I even do that? Why would you play Titanfall on a console when you can get it on PC? Like, that's my whole thing. It's like Xbox, it's exclusive to Xbox and PC. But, I mean, why would you...
Yeah, if you have a PC option, why buy it?
And that's what game journalists are even saying. Like these people who play all platforms all the time, they want, what I don't get, the biggest thing, we talked to Linus last week, obviously we know these consoles 10-year life cycle, right? In 3 or 4 years you're going to have 4K taking over, even whether you want it or not. It's going to happen. And these consoles can't really run it. And so what I don't understand is why you develop these consoles to be a 10-year life cycle. I was listening to another podcast today, and they brought this up, but it makes perfect sense to me. Apple, Apple with phones, Android phones, how often it's like 2 years basically is the cycle on you getting a phone, usually. If you're on contract especially, because then you have, your discount or whatever. Why not make these consoles either with upgradable modules on them, or make it so you don't spend $1 bajillion developing a PS4, make a PS4 for cheap, and then make a new one in 2 years. It works incredibly for phone makers, and I think it would be the same with consoles.
I think it's different though, because it works for phone makers because people get those subsidized on contracts, so it looks a lot cheaper. People would not be able to buy $700 phones every year, every 2 years. So
no, I agree, but why not subsidize one of the initial rumors about Xbox One, because it's a cable box as well? It is, why not be like, sign up for Comcast 2 years, get a $200 Xbox One? Why not do that?
Because Comcast
how many Xbox
already makes
Ones?
A bunch of money.
No, I don't think that's a problem. I don't think Microsoft would have had a problem striking that deal. Are you kidding me?
I think the dynamics of the market are just way different. But I wouldn't be surprised if I think the fact that this past console generation lasted 10 years is maybe an anomaly. I think the move to x86 signifies that I don't know that they want another 10-year cycle, right? Because now that it's x86, theoretically they should be able to make new consoles quicker, keep the architecture the same, make it faster, make it better, add new features that future games can take advantage of, but keep some sense of backward compatibility that's easy with old consoles, so that it's not the PS5, it might be the PS4S or something like that.
Well, that was the proposal on the podcast I was listening to.
But of course, they want to tell you it's going to be a 10-year cycle, because then everyone's going to go out and buy one. And if it's a 5-year cycle, then they can surprise everyone and sell it to you again. But they might as well tell you it's, saddle in. You might as well buy it now. It's, you're going to be here for a decade. Buy it today. Yeah. Boost our sales numbers.
True. I just think they should look at this mobile industry, which is killing it right now, and quite frankly robbing us blind in a lot of instances, and the cable industry as well. And maybe they should have taken a lesson. And if either one of these consoles had been subsidized with something, can you imagine how many more it would sell at half the price?
Think about
but they're going to sell. The PS4, where there's it's already sold over 1 million or whatever.
Sold a million.
Yeah.
If it's a financial flop, then yeah. But they're looking at what has worked. In the past. Well, I guess it depends on what console you're looking at.
The thing is, they can still do that stuff. They can still do subsidized models, but they're already going to sell a ton of these. They're going to sell through this stuff. Given that it's the holiday season and everything, they're going to sell. They're going to set records anyway. They can do all that stuff after the fact if that ends up being an issue. But I think they're probably scared of being too tied to cable companies, especially with more and more people cutting cable.
True. All right.
But the one thing that I did think was really cool was the streaming integration for PS4 is actually pretty awesome.
I'm really, really impressed with it outside of the audio stuff, because it's kind of low quality. But the video stuff is super impressive.
For a version 1, right straight out the gate, I think it's pretty phenomenal.
The video quality just looks like any other stream.
Did you say audio?
That's a compliment.
No, audio.
That's a compliment.
I heard audio. Minnesota, you.
That's not how anyone in Minnesota pronounces
I think
audio. In Minnesota, it'd be audio.
Okay. I'm mixing it. I'm mixing it up with somebody else.
Yeah.
Other people.
I think if they want to improve it, they should make you able to control the size of the camera, because right now it's this tiny little postage stamp thing, but it doesn't make sense because the camera captures in 16:9, but it's this little square. I don't understand what that choice was, but all they would do. What?
Can you adjust the scene at all?
I don't think so.
You can change from, I think, the one that shows just the game, just the game and camera, and then the one that has the full overlay with a couple challenges and stuff.
Yes.
I think there's I want to say there's 3 different options.
Yeah, they should make. I don't know if you can move the camera spot either, because if on a certain game that might block stuff. So I think if they want to, there's definitely real easy ways to improve. But it's super solid right now. I've been watching PS4 streams and enjoying them like it's not like I'm watching the Black Ops 2 in-game streamer for Xbox 360.
Yeah, it's been cool to see some of the reactions of like the news sites and like the Ben Kucheras of the world being like, this is their first experience with streaming, and they're like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's like, yeah, it's been amazing for a couple of years now.
Been here a while now, huh? Yeah. Ben Kuchera.
Well, I mean,
this is amazing.
Now it's like as accessible as like you can get it. Like it's so easy now because it's like you're gonna play games and now you can just stream your games from the same exact thing that you're playing your games on. Like it's almost like a PC.
Yep, it's almost like it's the same architecture or something.
Almost
you're
like
paying
it's
for
the exact same
expensive
thing.
hardware in a box that gets updates.
Yep.
Interesting.
Checkmate, atheists.
Checkmate.
So PS4 came out. If you got one, good.
Anyway,
for you.
just to summarize, you're a fat, greasy nerd if you bought a PS4 on today. That's my take.
Yeah, I also was tempted to just buy the controller for PC use.
I will say this: we've said it before. The controller is really fucking good on the PS4.
It's good.
So,
except for the fucking touch. The touch thing is dumb, and it's really not as responsive as you want it to be.
Also, the PS4 controller works. The wired version works on a PC straight away. You don't need any sort of crazy thing. So both the controllers will work right away on your PC if you're worried about that. So, so there's that. And now to shit on that console hardware that just came out right away, DDR4 RAM is coming in December. We were not expecting this to be announced I wasn't expecting it at least until mid-2014 or so to be commercially available. But apparently new motherboards and DDR4 RAM will be out in December, according to Crucial. It's got, I think, twice the bandwidth that DDR3 does. So for streamers, that's actually a really cool thing. And you'll notice performance gains anyway with that much of a bandwidth jump. The minimum speed on DDR4 is 2133 for your RAM. So to put that in perspective, I think 1066 was the minimum speed on DDR3. So it'll be very expensive when it comes out. Plus, you'll need a new motherboard. If you have a current PC, you will need a new motherboard.
It's nice that this is actually getting pushed, though, because it's it's like a chicken and egg problem, right? Because it's hard to put that hardware out there when nothing supports it, and you can't move forward unless the hardware's out there. So to hear it's finally coming, at least from Crucial, hopefully everyone else starts to get in line and this actually gets pushed. Because it looks, all the advantages are there, especially the voltage.
Lower power.
Yeah, lower power and everything. There's no reason not to start selling this stuff immediately. So, good on you, Crucial.
I think I'm going to upgrade my motherboard, my RAM, my processor, my case. I'm going to keep my GTX 470. Are we cool with that? That'd still be acceptable.
He'll upgrade his case.
You're the one who's got to deal with it every day, so...
Yeah.
All right.
But, it's pretty much double the power, you could say.
Well, double the performance, lower power.
Yeah, what I'm hoping is that this somehow, in some way, drives DDR3 prices down even a little bit for those of us trying to get 16 gigabytes of that. But DDR4...
just maybe not, immediately.
I don't know the technical, nitty-gritty. I'm sure Anantac will have something soon. But the base memory speed is 2133, as I said, which was a very premium speed for current RAM. So that is a pretty big increase in performance. And for things like streaming, you will notice a difference.
And it should be said that it's hard to get DDR3 to even run at 2133 in most cases. I had a hell of a time trying to get mine just to run at 1866 and ended up abandoning that whole project. So it'll be... the regular folks will probably notice this more than anything.
So that is coming. So if you were going to build right now, you may want to hold off till December just to see what prices are like.
They haven't announced any motherboards yet, as far as I know. So
yeah, the chipsets will probably remain the same, but be like DDR4 edition, I would think, because they have to support the current CPUs, at least Haswell.
Yeah.
So if you're on Sandy Bridge, you're probably out of luck, to be honest. 2600K, 2500K, and maybe even Ivy Bridge, you may be out of luck. On DDR4, they may not even bother. So just FYI there. And of course, this last thing was an insane looking Oculus Rift optimized horror game which I put on here just for Scott.
Oh god, I watched the trailer before this, and Jesus Christ!
If we have the money next year, we're investing in a Rift for this. So this game is called The Forest. You should definitely go check out the trailer. We didn't post or anything, but it's been kind of all over the internet. The whole it's a first person. It's not even really a horror game per se, although there are horror elements. You're in a plane crash, and then the game starts. So you're surviving alone. And I'm guessing there's nasty things out
there.
It's
a de facto horror game because obviously that is a horrifying situation.
And I like how it starts out all peaceful, like with the bird on his like arm and shit, and then it just goes so wrong when you're like see the spike of all the people that he's fucking killed to stay alive or whatever. Yeah. It looks like a bunch of weird ass tribes people or something are attacking him in the trailer.
You can't just say that.
No, it's battling. It's crazed cannibals with a lighter.
Oh, okay.
So they're cannibals. It is built, and we're going to talk about this after we talk about new releases. But it is built on Unity 4, but it looks like fucking CryEngine. It looks so good. Like, I think it looks amazing graphically.
I don't know about CryEngine, but I mean, it looks pretty cool.
I mean, that's impressive.
It still has the Unity, like, I feel like the animations and stuff like that, but
kind of rigid.
Yeah. But like textures and everything.
But Unity showing this quality of graphics is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Well, so that's coming out, I think, by the end of this year. That's what they said. But but we'll be.
I'm planning to be dead before the next Extra Life anyway. So
is this open world?
I believe it is like a Minecrafty sort of thing that way.
Because there's building and shit. Like
think of it as Don't Starve first person. Oof. That's how I would describe it. So shit's trying to kill you the whole time, but more so than Minecraft. Minecraft, you're never like, oh god,
themed Minecraft in like first person, like Minecraft is. That sounds really appealing to me.
A horror themed Minecraft is playing with Minecraft on a server with any of the KBMOD people because that is, you're not doing it the way I want it to be. God.
It also sounds like PewDiePie's wet dream, but
that is the combo.
So that's coming. New releases this week: Lord of the Rings Online Helm's Deep DLC. I know you all play it. On Monday. It comes out.
That game might be really exciting.
I got a starter pack in the WB Humble Bundle.
And then yes, you did. Also, real quick, since you're missing the Humble Bundle, if you didn't know this, or you don't follow us, or you don't get on the internet, the Humble Bundle launched a storefront.
If you don't get the marketplace like Humble Bundle emails, just go sign up. Like every Humble Bundle is good.
Oh, it's ridiculous. This last one, I was jizzing all over the place.
But the store,
their store is amazing. Insane. Their store is basically like, at least from when I was checking it the other day, like every day it was Steam sale type prices on all these games, and I was like, I cannot do this.
I bought Chivalry because it was $6.
I'm looking at it right now, and I have a massive.
The Swapper was $5. Chivalry $6. Like,
Isaac for $2 right now.
You just remind me, I got to install the.
Yeah, that game isn't worth $2.
Wow.
But Tuesday, Walking Dead Game of the Year. If you haven't played Walking Dead, go get it. But Game of the Year includes the 500 Days DLC, so you'll have everything before Season 2 comes out. You definitely should play that game, though. And 2 AAA titles on Tuesday: Assassin's Creed 4 for PC, as well as Need for Speed Rivals, which is apparently really buggy on PS4, but that comes out as well on Tuesday. And then Friday, not a game, the Xbox One releases on Friday. So there you
go. Not a game.
Yeah, if you're some kind of nerd, you can.
Unless you're a fat, greasy nerd and buying it on day one, then it's a game for you. It's called a game of fail, you fucking nerd. You're going to buy it day one? Yeah, you're going to sit there and eat your Hot Pockets and pizza bites?
This is a rant cast.
Yeah. Look at your PS4 that you just jerked off onto because you could afford it day one, and you're going to jerk off into your Xbox One too.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the Xbox One launch because I want to know how smooth it's going to be compared to the PS4 one. Because I feel like PS4 in general, besides for the small percentage hardware failures, like real smooth launch. Like I want to know. Like I feel like
games,
like Microsoft could be driving their big Xbox One truck and hit the tiniest little pebble, and like it would be just game over.
I like this metaphor. I like playing this metaphor out in my head.
Like, and then they're in a ditch, and like there's blood everywhere, and people are dead.
Yeah, I like it. I just want to see the guy that was like speaking for them with his like goofy almost accent, like driving the truck, just like his creepy ass like goatee beard.
Peggle 2.
Oh, Peggle 2 guy is going to be like leading the charge, and like as it
Peggle 2 guy
jumps off the hood and like midair poses.
The reason the Xbox One truck gets derailed off the road is because the Peggle 2 guy jumps into the middle of the street, and they have to swerve out of the way, and then they end up in a ditch, and then everybody's dead.
I can afford both consoles on launch day. Fucking nerds.
So we're gonna take a commercial break here, pull Hex into the call, and then we're gonna do another award roundtable this week.
Coincides with me having to leave the call, oddly. So see you guys later.
So Brandon, are you running that, or am I running?
And yes, we are. Okay. I'm not sure if the commercial hits instantly because there's a little bit of delay. So we might be cutting off.
Because I can't.
I cannot. No, that's not possible.
Damn.
I can't.
Right, I'm getting a beer.
This is like one of the only Assassin's Creed games that I'm not going to get at launch.
Oh yeah, it looks like garbage. So.
What? The new one?
People have been saying it's okay.
I had fun playing it at that, but that's fucking. I was playing demos.
That's what they.
Did you play multiplayer or what?
No, I didn't play multiplayer.
Oh.
I don't know though. See, I like it that it seems a little bit different than traditional Assassin's Creed.
I don't know. I'm definitely gonna get it. I'm just not gonna get it right away. I don't know yet. 3 was good, but not as good as 2. I think I'm the only one that's. I think I'm the only one.
I've never finished an Assassin's Creed game, so I can't.
I love Assassin's Creed, but this one just not like I don't know. I don't think it's just because I'm not a huge on pirates. Like that doesn't do anything. And the ship gameplay, not really into pirate ships, but.
Can I just talk about for a second how upset I am that Peggle 2 is an Xbox One exclusive? How dumb is that?
What? Dumb? That's like it's a mobile game. Like
how dumb is that?
Well, no, wasn't that like a free game that you got with on for 360 launch as well?
Well
yeah. No, you got Hexic when the 360 launched.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No, Peggle was always like one of those PC games that was just free and you just fucking sit around.
No, Peggle is like a perfect mobile game, and they released Plants vs. Zombies exclusively on iOS, and now Peggle exclusively on Xbox. It's like, what is your platform strategy, PopCap?
It's a bad one.
Just scattershot. They're just fucking jerking off into the wind and seeing where it lands.
Seeing what ladies decided not to put underwear on that day.
How far is this metaphor going to go?
Standing on top of a building in a crowded city. He's like, yo, I got you. I saw it landed on your crotch.
Oh,
PopCap, bitch. PopCap.
And do a DNA test, find out years later that you've impregnated over like 300 women because of that masturbation practice by accident. Oh
my god. That's how I was born.
Yep. And now let's all segue back to Hex being on the cast and sharing his whole life story.
Hex's window is still connecting, but he's already connected.
Yeah, I'm connected, but there's little dots.
Yeah, he's fine on my end.
That's great. Skype is a great program.
I see him.
All right, we're back from commercial.
All right. So, last week we determined the best live stream game of 2013 was CSGO, with runners-up to Dota 2 and some other shit that I can't remember.
A tweet from Todd Harris, who's not pleased with his honorable mention.
I did see the tweet from Todd.
I tell you what, he was pleased that we had a category for this, though. We are ahead of the curve as always.
I would say we got an honorable mention from him for having.
Yeah, we did.
Equivalent.
He was mad that Smite was not on the list, but StarCraft 2 and Dota 2 and Speedrunners as a whole category.
Yeah, I talked about Smite. They've been doing some cool stuff, but CS:GO that's a hard act to follow.
Todd Harris, you're going to listen to this podcast because you listen every week, but I gave you so much props at PAX Prime because Smite, more developers need to do what Hi-Rez does with streaming. And
definitely.
Just stream your game 24 hours a fucking day on Twitch.
Good.
And I gave them tons of prop last week for their
you can do it right from your console.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm streaming Smite right now from my PS4. I'm streaming Smite from my PS4, aka I'm pointing the webcam at my monitor, and it's like a 200 by 200 pixel stream of Smite.
So, this week's category though is best graphics / technical achievement. So this isn't art style. So things for like
we definitely had some confusion on this last year.
Yes. So things like the new Telltale game, why am I blanking on it? My mind is gone. I'm too old.
I just got an email from change.org. Timeout. Target first Thanksgiving. God damn it. I am asking Target to please keep all the stores closed on Thanksgiving Day by Patricia Stumpf. I'm done. I'm fucking
please,
done.
Patricia, shut the fuck up, Patricia. No one cares.
Gosh.
No one fucking cares.
Patricia,
Sorry.
Patricia,
So
Patricia.
back to the award.
Patricia,
so it's not arts.
Patricia?
Not art style.
This is what change.org is doing, closing Thanksgiving. Like, are there other bigger issues in the continental United fucking States instead of Target being open on Thanksgiving? This is the kind of emails that I sign up for. I bet you I saw one fucking decent thing, like someone got killed over something bullshit, and I was like, I'm going to sign up on change.org. Target versus Thanksgiving is the headline. This is the shit. It comes to my Gmail. I'm
actually mad now. I'm actually mad now, too, because... Why does
he
she
just
care?
throws his cat? He just throws his cat.
Why does Patricia care? If you're mad that Target's open on Thanksgiving, don't go to fucking Target on Thanksgiving. I feel like it's just more convenient for you. It's just more convenient for you. What if
hashtag kill Patricia?
Like what the fuck?
I bet she has like a son that couldn't get off for Thanksgiving, and now he's not going to be able to make it to the family dinner, and she's just taking out her.
Your son is working at Target. You
wow, Nick Fan.
Shots fired.
Everybody who's ever worked a shitty job.
Shitting on retail workers.
I'm not shitting on retail workers. I'm saying you should expect that when you're working at Target and you're a retail worker. Like that's what happens.
That's true.
Like
Patricia, real quick. Patricia,
that's what happens when you work at Target.
Patricia, I'm talking to you now. Kill yourself. And your life, Patricia.
All right. So
you have better things to do.
To clarify,
this awards mentioned about something happening.
Yeah. So this isn't an award for
apparently not
for like. No, that's another day. That's what I was talking to you about.
We have to do that on my show, apparently.
Yeah, we're gonna do that on the next show. There's too many categories. There's more categories than there are podcasts between now and the end of the year. That's the problem. So, but anyway, this isn't about art style. So things like Wolf Among Us. Not on here. Well, the art style is tremendous. That's going to be its own category. And
it's
as
graphics quality
said,
and technical achievement. I think that's a pretty good way to say.
Yeah, I thought that was a good way to say it. So on the list, I'll just run down the list real quick, and then we can talk about some of these. Crysis 3, of course.
Right.
The CryEngine bros always pushing it as hard as they can. Metro Last Light, maybe the most demanding game of the year. Tomb Raider. Final Fantasy XIV, Saints Row 4, Battlefield 4, a Doge GIF.
A really small Doge GIF now.
Arma 3, Bioshock Infinite.
Don't say this
Call
next
of
one.
Duty.
Don't.
I can't. No, I can't. It's already eliminated.
Yep, we're eliminating it right now. Cross this out, please.
Nope. Shadow Warrior. Batman Arkham Origins, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, Company of Heroes 2, Total War Rome 2, Grid 2, and Assassin's Creed 4, which I've seen enough gameplay of to know how it looks, so personally. But
how did Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons get on the graphics list? Like,
I don't know who
technical achievement. Like,
technical achievement.
I was confused and I didn't realize it was technical achievement. I thought I just saw graphics, so we can remove that.
Well, even graphics, like I could maybe see art style, but like graphics.
It's a pretty game. It's a pretty game.
Yeah, I mean it's confused, but it's not like it's not pushing graphics at all. I saw best
graphics and I didn't read the rest, so I skipped.
So the way we do this, if you missed last week. If the fucking gift, stop it.
I gotta delete it. I can't keep looking at it. I'm just gone.
You're weak. You're all weak.
The way this works this year is like not really a voting system of everyone like we did last year. We discuss this shit like men. Yeah. So let's just start at the top of the list. Crysis 3. If anyone can honestly, like, what do we even need to discuss? They always put out the most demanding.
Yep, that one's staying on. So that's really all that needs to be said for right now.
That one's staying on.
Right now, that one's staying on.
I want to say
when Nick played it.
Dude,
Nick
I
played it
on low, and it looked fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it looked amazing. I know that my 7970 couldn't handle the multiplayer thing. the beta, like, it couldn't handle it at Ultra at all. It just, nope. So it was also the first game, I believe, to use over 2 gigabytes of video RAM on Ultra, which was the standard when it came out. So 2 gigabyte cards kind of got shit on by that thing. So Crysis 3, of course, they went back too after Crysis 2. Crysis 1, of course, we all know, a classic shit on your computer game. That was the whole point of Crysis 1.
It's just not even optimized well. It's just there to kill your computer.
Yeah, it's just there to destroy you. So
I can run Crysis 1 on Ultra settings in my GTX 470. Get wrecked.
Well, you can.
That's
run it.
The first gen.
You can't run it well.
What's crazy is that like they still use. So part of this list was games I looked at on games they had to come out this year, obviously, but games that AnandTech uses to bench. And Crysis 3 is on there, of course, and Crysis 1 and Crysis Warhead are still used. Like 7 years later.
Optimize that well. I don't understand why they're still used. Like,
because they beat the shit out of stuff, dude.
I get it, but just use something that's like more reflective of what you can get today.
Does anybody remember like last year a MacBook came out and they benchmarked it on COD 4? Does anybody remember that? That was fun.
Did that actually happen? I'm really...
Yeah, no, for real. Like last year or a year or two ago.
That's pretty upsetting.
Yeah. So, next game... Wait a minute. What is the hex? What are you doing to me? Oh. Metro Last Light is the next category. Am I the only one here who played Last Light? Possibly.
I watched you play Last Light.
Yeah, I watched it.
It looked good.
I could not run the tech demo run a bunch of times. It's pretty.
Yeah, we watched the tech demo run on Bob's computer for like 10 hours. But Last Light had on ultimate settings on Metro, you had to have SLI to run it, and it looked absolutely amazing. I think the effects they did for the HUD in that game, as someone who played it, when you like walked through gassy areas like poisonous areas or the nuclear rain outside, was one of the most impressive visual things I've ever seen. I think Metro has to stay.
Plus, it was made by, like, when we found out later, was made by a fucking sweatshop
like two
of, like,
dudes in a shack.
Two guys, you know.
That's fair, yeah.
That's
that kind of factors into the technical achievement part of it.
Has to.
Yeah.
That's true.
So Last Light stays. All right, next game. I may have been the only one who played this on Ultra, but I think other people did play this game. Tomb Raider. Hair.
See, I feel like
I still don't think Tomb Raider looks as good as everyone.
It looks good. It doesn't look as good as like the other things in this category.
And
it's also too kind of cartoony for me.
We should have our own hair category, and I'm giving the unofficial hair award from KBMOD to Tomb Raider. Congratulations, okay. You won.
There it is.
Nice
one. Violence.
I think.
So we're thinking. I think this is an absolutely breathtaking game to look at. But
I can see it for so many other things, like for story. Okay, it has a really good story.
It's Unreal 3, which not old, but they pushed that engine as far as it could go. I think in Tomb Raider. I don't know as I look at the rest of this list that it could make a top 4 or a top 3 though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, this fucking Doge.
It's getting bigger.
Fucking Doge. Oh my god.
Oh my god. It's big. Oh my god. It hurts.
Sean with a good point. The hair actually looked pretty bad, and he had an AMD card.
Really didn't look good. Like the tress effects did not work.
No, it looked great.
It went all over the place. It didn't react like real hair. I don't understand.
It looked like your hair was having a seizure at a rate. Like,
okay,
never would, like, hit her shoulders and it would start going into epileptic shock.
I'm changing the category to best brown spaghetti wiggling around. Tomb Raider.
Okay, that's fair.
Hands are steady. Brown spaghetti.
So Tomb Raider, I'm feeling like it's not making it.
R.I.P. Tomb Raider.
To a not
have a shot.
All right, so Tomb Raider is out. This next one I feel is going to be the one up for great debate. People in chat already going hammer on it. Final Fantasy XIV.
It's a pretty game. But like then the particle effects for it are really cool. Like if you crank it all the way up, it looks really good. But like
it also destroys your computer. Cranked.
Yeah, it does.
It has 4K shadow textures. Come on, man.
This is a hard one. Well, like, obviously, it's not on the technical levels of like Crysis, Metro, Battlefield, etc. But it's an MMO, so it's like a different. It's a different scale than the other games, so it's different. You have to kind of judge it accordingly.
What they did with that engine, I'm going to be the sole fighter for this, I think, but what they did with that engine is so incredibly impressive to me. I've never seen better scenes in a game, as far as just looking around, than I have
the opening cutscene
in Final Fantasy XIV.
Watch the opening cutscene. It's fucking absurd. It's absurdly good looking.
It also lasts 1,000 years.
It is really long.
I'm still watching it from when I first played the game.
There's a whole lot of that bullshit anime running on chocobos. Like, we're just going to run this way. It's going to be real cool. We're going to play cool music. They do that shit. But
however,
it's very Japanese.
What I am describing, I've watched the sunset in that game and been fucking impressed. You've watching
cried to
the
that sunset, haven't you?
Yeah, I've masturbated to that sunset.
While crying.
Crying is implied.
As the tears dribbled down to his dick, and he used it for lube for the sunset. It was impressive.
However, does this, as I hear my own argument, does this make it too much on the side of art style? Because the environments in that game are so beautiful.
It's a little different than like your run-of-the-mill. Like WoW is so defined, and EverQuest has like its own thing, and even Guild Wars 2 does too. But it's very Final Fantasy. Like the whole game is just like, well, if you've played a Final Fantasy game, you know what you're getting into with the graphics. Like it's not pushing technically anything. Like it's its own art.
The argument from chat is that it's not DX11, so therefore it cannot win this category.
I think that's valid. I think you're not. You are. I would argue that you probably are not pushing the boundaries if you are not using like DX11 at this point.
By the way, I didn't bring up the cutscene. I can run around that game and look around forever, but maybe that makes it better for the other category.
Red Baron's mad, whatever. I don't get.
Yeah, he's pretty angry.
So mad.
Reed is just an angry ginger, is what he is.
Listen.
I'm just saying. I'm going to refute the art style argument because I think that the art style is generally fairly unremarkable, but I think the game looks very remarkable, just not due to the art style.
It's also on a completely different engine. It's on
than everything else.
Crystal engine. It's like a proprietary Square engine built from the ground up again. After they fucked up the first time. So, but from what we're saying, I think the majority would take this out. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
I don't care. I haven't played 80% of the games on this list.
So DX9 axes Final Fantasy 14, much to my own chagrin.
Oh, this next one, I'm ready to axe. I'm ready to axe the fuck out of this.
Yeah, I don't understand this one.
I threw it on there. We can axe it right away.
Get the fuck out of here.
Don't even
Saints Row 4. Get the fuck out of here.
Wow,
it's 3 DLC.
All right. So anyway, Saints Row 4 just got shit on so fucking hard.
It's the same, man.
It's the same. All right. So Arma 3, or no, we're on Battlefield 4. My bad. Battlefield 4.
That's staying. Because
I will fight
it's
for this
impressive
one because I've played it on.
If you need to, play
Ultra. Played it on SLI 680s, and
the
as corny as some of the Levolution stuff may be in terminology, that I think is a pretty awesome technical achievement. Like watching that stuff on Ultra is
not only that, but to be able to sync it across a 64-player server and know that 60 other people are seeing that happen. Here comes this boat as it destroys this island, and the entire server is watching it happen. That's a big technical achievement.
When that boat that's a scripted event, right? Does that happen every time you play?
Yeah, it happens. Well, it doesn't necessarily happen every time, but it will happen. Yeah.
It's when that first happened. I saw that for the first time today. I was I don't know where my camera just went, but
yeah, they all kind of died. But
one's died.
Cool. I was just I was standing right on the island it crashed into, and I just turned around. There's this big fucking tanker just I was I was flabbergasted. I wish my camera didn't just die so I could show you the face I made, but no. Thanks, Skype. You're a great program. But it's huge scale. I think it's really looking at the scale of how great. If it was Call of Duty looked that good, which it doesn't, that would be just that would be okay. It's a pretty good looking game. But the fact that Battlefield has the scale and the chaos and everything going on at the same time, it's rendering so much shit. I'd say it definitely deserves.
I feel like you also kind of have to maybe throw Battlelog in with that. Like that's a part of the game.
Nope.
Doesn't have.
Really, I don't have to do shit.
Doesn't have anything to do with graphics.
It doesn't. But that is a technical achievement.
I've never.
What I would say.
You are they paying you to promote Battlelog?
What I would say.
No. Incredible.
Let me bring up the most impressive thing about that map, the one where the ship comes in. The storm itself.
Yes.
It's one of the most impressive things you will ever see in a game. If you look at the palm trees, it looks like footage when you see a hurricane.
It looks like news footage, yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like,
it is creepy.
Yeah. And not every map is like that, but it's... I mean, Battlefield 4 has to stay.
Even if you're not like satisfied with the quality of the multiplayer map visually, which you fucking should be, crank that game up to ultra and play the campaign, because the campaign is just pretty as hell. It will melt your face.
That's why I wanted to play the campaign.
It's just pretty. That's like,
yeah.
There are characters. I didn't realize I was just here to jerk off to textures.
That's all I wanted to do.
And the thing about BF4 too, and this is not the same with all games. For instance, Last Light is the one where the SSAO in that game is so demanding. The high level graphics in that game is so demanding that you can't even get the full experience without 2 video cards. And like, that's great. That's like, it looks insane on that. But for, you can't even see the full potential of the game. If you play BF4 on medium, it still looks fucking incredible.
When I load it in on my 470, I'm like, holy shit, dude. I mean, I'm at 1440 by 900. If I upgrade to a 1080p monitor and a good video card, I'm not going to survive. So I'm fine. Yeah. It still looks good, even on shitty resolutions. Like,
so this next one, I don't know if any of us have played, but I've watched a good amount.
Yeah, I've watched.
Yeah.
Arma 3 has probably the best water and the best rendering, like, of a landscape that I've ever seen.
The detail level is really intricate.
It is. It's incredible. You can see forever in that game.
Yeah, you can.
Draw distance in that game. And people, always complain about the Arma engine looking like shit, but or running like shit.
Boring.
Be that as it may.
It's like the most
I feel like performance should
engine.
I feel like the performance should be criticized in regards to technical achievement. I feel like
I think that's valid.
Oh, I think that's valid. Yeah, I just praised Battlefield 4 for running and looking beautiful on everything. But I would say I've seen like shots of sunsets in Arma 3, and also we cut a highlight of Ches flying into the water in like an LAV. The water in that game, probably the best water of any game I've ever seen. And also underwater with the light looks incredible.
Yeah.
I would vote myself to keep this one on for the final stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think it is worthy just because it is kind of pushing the boundaries. It's just that it's also it's kind of hard to tell at some points what's pushing the boundaries, which is causing your performance to be bad, and what is just not good optimization causing your performance to be bad. It's sometimes it's hard to tell what the culprit is.
Real quick, I just got a tweet from someone, Beyond Two Souls. It's not a PC game, so it can't be on here. So if it was on the PC, maybe it would be, but it's not. Sorry, it's a PC podcast. Sorry, dude.
After we talked for like 6 hours about the PS4, shut up.
Yeah. Well, no, we don't include we don't
those games.
We don't. GTA 5 isn't on this list, is it?
Listen.
Well, GTA 5, I don't. Yeah, I don't put GTA 5.
I'm just saying, Last of Us is on this list.
We don't drink from the same water fountain as those games. Okay? That's how this works.
Oh my fucking god!
We don't use the same bathrooms.
Oh my god!
That's how it works. Wow. There's a separation. There's a line.
I have to leave this podcast now.
Did Beyond Two Souls just come into my diner and sit at the bar with me?
Yep.
Did that just happen? I know that didn't just happen.
Scott's gonna be driving by like the Xbox 360 or Xbox One lineup with like a fire hose, and just started blasting them, pinning them against the wall.
I will say.
When did the console war turn into 50s racism in the South? What the fuck just happened? What just happened?
Prologue.
You said that. Anyway. I didn't. What are you talking about?
Where did you get this?
Let me say this though: when GTA 5 comes out for PC /next gen, you can be damn sure it'll be on a bunch of lists for 2014.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But until that happens,
well, unless it runs like GTA 4 did.
Well,
That's
if it's a port like that,
it doesn't count if it was modded to look awesome.
All right, next game, which may be a Final Fantasy 14 case again, BioShock Infinite.
Nah. Even though I didn't think this game was all that great, it was gorgeous. Like, I started that game up on Ultra and just was like, wow.
Fuck, actually, you're right. It does.
Like, I don't think the game as a game, I don't think it was that good of a game. Like, I don't think it deserved all the praise it got. But like, when you go down into that church with all the bloom and glow effects from the candle, like, and you walk out into Columbia the first time, and the sun is there, and it's just so bright and
art style. It's really
maybe it's an art style game. Maybe it's not like pushing.
However, that's another game that runs awesome on pretty much anything.
True.
So
yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me to separate the technical piece from the art style, because I think the art style was awesome, but it also did. I mean, it looked good. I don't know that I can put it in with the same category as the other games we've talked about.
I can see that.
I agree with Ren in the chat. It's an art style thing, and even then, I don't think the art style is that good because everybody has an asshole face.
That's true. They do all have asshole faces. Wow.
They look like assholes.
They just all look like assholes. That's true.
See, depends on how you want to take it. Do you want to say
this would be a good one for the art style category, not for best technical performance?
Yeah.
Art style this year has so many good games.
You know what is really pretty is the Burial at Sea DLC.
I haven't played that, by the way. I gotta get that shit.
It's real good. It's real BioShock Infinity. Like, get your brain ready.
Well, I got my dick ready, so I'll get my brain ready.
Get your dick ready as well.
Right. This next game, I don't know if anyone here played but me and Hex. I don't know if Hex played it that long, but
I didn't play a ton of it. I mean, it looks like a game.
Shadow Warrior, an absolutely beautiful game, and they really, I believe it's on Unreal. Oh no, it's on the Hard Reset proprietary engine. And they actually, it's an update of the Hard Reset engine. One of the best looking games of the year that nobody played because it was $40 and shouldn't have been, probably.
If that was $20, it would have sold gangbusters. So like $40 is too much.
But Shadow Warrior, if you watch me stream it, you know how good it looks. It looks amazing. The amount of enemies they throw on the screen too is incredible.
But does it look as good as anything else that's in the list? Like, I watched you play parts.
I think it looks just as good as Last Light. I really,
really?
Yeah. I just think it suffered some performance issues for sure. Dear God. Drop frames like crazy. Really big frame gaps. I think it looked as good as Last Light, but it certainly didn't run as well. And technically, that engine, what I would like to see is those dudes at Flying Wild Hog, they need to take that engine and they need to license it. And they need to be like, you guys out there make some games on this.
But yeah,
because
I mean, I don't think it's as good as any of the other games in terms of visuals.
I didn't think it was anything special. Like, I thought it looked good, but like, it didn't look as good as even Crysis 3. Like,
well, Crysis 3 is
Crysis 3 looks ridiculous, though.
Looks incredible.
I wouldn't say it even looked as good as Battlefield 4, and like that
game's even more ridiculous.
That's the thing is, I mean, does it warrant consideration?
I don't think it does, and I love the.
I think we have to defer to you because you're the one who's actually played it. In comparison
Brandon, you should play it sometime on SLI cards and let me know.
I want to try now that we have the Steam sharing stuff. I will dig into more of these.
Yeah. So Shadow Warrior doesn't make it, but again, kind of like Smite, honorable mention. That engine needs love from other people. Flying Wild Hog, please.
Someone who can make games use your engine.
Hard Reset's a really good game. It
is a good game. No, I actually really enjoyed Hard Reset.
Shadow Warrior is a really good game, actually. This next one I think is getting struck off immediately, but I'll read it off anyway. Batman Arkham Origins, the game that could have been, in my opinion.
Comic book nerds, get the fuck out of here.
Why didn't they use... What I understand, obviously it's a series, so this may have been in development well before then, probably was. Why not just wait for a new Batman game on Unreal 4? That, I think, would have been the better decision.
Rocksteady's already working on the other Batman game.
True.
And they're Assassin's Creeding this bitch.
They are.
Origins didn't look any better than any of the other Batman games.
No, it really didn't look any better than Batman.
If we're doing a special shout out to snow moving around when you walk through it, I mean, it leaves footprints.
A really specific category.
Yeah.
Snow that leaves footprints.
All right. Snow footprints award, KBMOD award goes to Batman Arkham Origins, along with brown spaghetti wiggling around to Tomb Raider.
These are fucking super professional awards. So,
as Todd Harris said, we're always on the front end of award technology. All right, these next two games are included not because anyone here played them, because they're always used for benchmarks, and they just came out this year. Company of Heroes 2, which is an RTS title. I haven't played it. Brandon, you have.
It looks really good.
I mean, I can only speak to the beta, which ran horrendously. But again, that's not a fair judge at all. So I can't really say for these two.
You want to put a little maybe check mark next to?
I mean,
I know I could.
Total War Rome 2 have like a bajillion units on screen.
The thing about Total War is that the scale is just ridiculous. Like you can zoom down and look at like single soldiers.
So much like Arma 3, like the technical achievement of Rome 2 is pretty fucking insane.
Yeah, I can see that. But Company of Heroes, I don't know. I never cared for those games.
Yeah, RTS games never, even though this game is always used as benchmarks, RTS games for me never really represent.
I feel like it's used for benchmarks just because there's so many things hitting other things. It's just stuff hitting things.
See, I think
literally and in terms of
would be technical achievement. Company of Heroes 2, Strike It.
Yeah. So Total Rome, I think we're going to keep. Also, we gave away 2 copies of that during Extra Life. So if you guys
we'll have them vote. That was actually part of your winning was you were actually going to help us decide this category.
Yeah, we will suggestion in chat from St. Jimmy. St. Jimmy, we may put up fan votes. I got to find a way to do polls well on the site. So we have the lists.
Yeah, I feel
Total War Rome 2, I think we need to keep
I feel like it deserves it because of the scale.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I even remember when the first Total War came out. However, how long was that? That was a long time ago. That game still blows me away at how ridiculous it is. But yeah,
I think it's hard to compare it to a lot of the other games on the list, which are mainly first-person shooters. So the technical achievement part is different because it's not going to look the same. The achievement there is the fact that they have crazy scale with a ton of AI routines and things all going on at once, and the graphics look good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Total War makes it. We have an actual top 5 for this category thus far. All right, Grid 2 racing game.
I have not watched, played, or barely. I know the game exists. So
again, always used for benchmarks. That's why I threw it on here. Have not played it.
I played Grid 2. Grid 2 automatically loses because they were so lazy. They couldn't even render the interior of a car for a good cockpit mode. No.
Okay, well,
GG.
See ya.
You've heard it directly from a man who appreciates a good cockpit.
That's true.
Let me tell you about cockpit.
Have you played Hex? Let me ask you a question. You played Grid 2. Have you played Forza 4?
Yes. Forza is a way better game. It's a way fucking better game.
Well, no, but does it look better?
Yes.
Does Forza look
it looks better on a 360 from 2004 than Grid 2 does on a modern PC.
Okay, well, then that just answered our question. Essentially with Grid 2.
Grid 2 getting absolutely murked.
It's amazing.
I knew we brought you in here for a reason.
So this last game, technically not out till Tuesday on PC. I've seen a lot of gameplay, though, from Next Gen. Game looks fucking really good, despite the frames drops on Next Gen, which will hopefully not be in the PC.
I don't think it looks that good.
Assassin's Creed 4.
I don't think it can be in consideration.
No, I don't think with this.
It looks like 3, but polished in terms of visuals.
Let me interrupt real quick. I tried to start doing these awards near the end of the year, and once Watch Dogs and The Crew got canceled, I was essentially like, what the fuck else is coming out? Nothing. Turns out Assassin's Creed 4 was still, coming out.
That's fine. They could have launched a couple weeks earlier, and maybe they would have made it. But
well, they launched on console last week.
Yeah,
so.
well, that was a mistake, wasn't it? Because we're doing it this week.
That's a pretty cool story you just told, Dan. Get it the fuck off the list.
Fucking Brandon just shit on Assassin's Creed 4 so hard.
See you later.
They didn't consult me for their launch date.
Which was a mistake.
That was just a clarification for people who are like, why aren't you including other games? But I tried to wait till Battlefield 4 and COD came out at least for all the awards. Once those games got canceled
out of the way,
it kind of fucked up all my awards debate hopes with Watch Dogs and The Crew not coming out as well. So it was like, god damn, we wouldn't have started till next week with any of these because of those two games. Watch Dogs, I am 100% sure would have been up for this award.
I think we can already be reasonably certain that there are games here for consideration that outdo AC4 technically.
Yes.
I don't think that's
the thing about Assassin's Creed is like
4 out of 5 of these do.
The scenery may be really nice to look at, and like cities and stuff, but yeah, like buildings and trees and all that stuff, it's all static. Like it's
don't tell me AC4 would beat out Battlefield in this category. It's just not. It's not happening.
So after our first round of cuts, we had like 5 left. We had 14 games to start with. We have 5 left. So far now we have Crysis 3, Metro Last Light, Battlefield 4, Arma 3, and Total War Rome 2. Let's start with Total War, which is a game that none of us have played, I don't think. But I do know the ridiculous amount of shit going on at once in that game is impressive. I think visually you have to strike this game.
I think,
yeah, probably.
It's just not that type of game, so I don't know that it can win this.
Strike it, lash it, give it 40 lashes.
Wow, dude.
Where's the cat of nine tails?
Now we're getting weird Sonic fucking pictures.
God, why?
I cannot even in this doc.
Oh, God.
So I think Total War Rome 2.
I think we also just don't have enough context. I think it's worthy of consideration, but we haven't played it enough to know to see how it stands up to these other games.
So Total War Rome 2, but we have 4 games left. Crysis 3, Metro Last Light, Battlefield 4, Arma 3. Let's go to Arma 3. I don't know, man.
It looks really good. And like I will go to bat for Rowan because he yelled at us in IRC literally all week about this because he knew this was coming this week.
I want to just get rid of it because he's so mad about it. Can
good.
we just nuke it because he really cares?
Again, I think it falls into the Shadow Warrior trap of someone else take this engine.
I feel like we should someone else America's Got Talent and have big X's in front of us so that we can just we can X out games. But instead we'll just make noises.
Well, Arma 3 looks so good and it's very detailed and the water is amazing and the lighting.
But again, I would say the models. What about the models? I don't think they look any better than
the models. Don't look any better than PS4.
Here's the thing. You know what, Arma? Release DayZ next year, and then that will be in consideration for next year, almost certainly, and maybe you'll win then.
No, it won't.
Boom.
No,
there you go.
Not gonna win.
Yep, Arma 3 dead.
Arma will never win. I don't care if it's the best.
I have a personal vendetta against that game now. So I'm so biased against that game.
Just because Rohan likes it so much, it will never win ever. Exit.
So, but I just think as a total package, it does have some of the best environments. The draw distance in that game, I don't know, is rivaled by any out there, but I just don't know if it hangs with the final 3 we have here: Crysis 3, Metro Last Light, and Battlefield 4.
I can't see people saying how could Metro Last Light stay and Arma be gone.
Well, Metro Last Light is one of the most demanding games ever made.
Yeah.
So that
it does look good.
Are you going to go from the graphic standpoint or the technical achievement standpoint? Because I feel like I'm with Brandon on this one, and Battlefield 4's Battlelog from a technical achievement standpoint, and also as far as like all the Levolution bullshit, it's technically more impressive than Last Light or Crysis 3.
I can understand the server side stuff, but I don't think Battlelog should be in this at all. I feel like it's more of an in-game experience type of thing.
I think remove Battlelog, I still vote BF4.
Here's my vote. I think would be for BF4 because the graphical stuff is incredible. Even if you take Battlelog out from it, all of my like complaints and reasons I don't like Battlefield, every single one of them is related to something gameplay wise or something. The actual look of the game is phenomenal. Like the way the maps look, the quality of the maps, like just looking at every piece of that, like that would almost have been worth my $60 alone just to see this stuff running on awesome hardware.
So here, just to play devil's advocate on the flip side, with Battlefield 4, if you want to talk about technical achievement, think about all of the people that we play with in the KB Marines and all the people that we like have the game. How many times does that game crash on you?
Oh, well, again, we're
I like that though.
No, I agree.
I like that counterpoint. I like that.
Like,
I agree with
Nick just popped a boner and is jerking off to the counterpoint. Jeez.
Oh man.
Here's the thing. We have to decide. We have to decide what the scope of this category is.
Do you like my counterpoints, Pewds? Do you like it when I make an argument for you? Felix, this is my real counterpoint.
I tell you, my counterpoint is actually
a pterodactyl. The sequel.
Oh, all right. So Brandon's arguing for Battlefield 4. Scott is crying himself to sleep. I think Hex is arguing for Battlefield 4 as well.
No, I love Battlefield 4, and I didn't really care for Battlefield 3 all that much. I thought it was okay. It's a great game. I had a lot of fun with it. It's really good to play with us as a group, but I think it's a really buggy game. Like, Rocco literally would play it for 5 minutes and immediately drop to 2 frames a second. So if you want to talk about technical achievement, like, yeah, it does a lot of cool things, but it's a buggy-ass game at the same time.
The thing is, I think we've all had way more exposure to Battlefield than we have Crysis or Metro, so there could have been similar bugs that I don't know about. Like, I can't say whether or not those games were also buggy on launch.
Let me say this. I put in my argument for Crysis 3 simply because CryEngine does more than any other engine. You may not like the shininess of that engine as far as the look, but when Nick Fenton on fucking low streaming it walks through a field, walks through a swamp that was like all long grass, and every single blade was moving like independently. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
On low, I mean that's
really... on low. Yeah.
Spoiler, my vote is for Crysis 3. That's what I'm voting for.
I think Crysis 3, and I love Last Light. So this is... Right. I think Battlefield 4 doesn't look different enough to me from Battlefield 3. It does get rid of the blue tint. It does look better. But I don't think it looks like it went very many places. There are impressive things I already talked about. The storm on Paracel. All that kind of stuff is impressive. But to me, it comes down to Crysis 3. The cloth in Crysis 3 is incredible to look at. Like, more games that... Even that snow fucking ski game on that engine looks incredible. What they've done with that game is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. And this is actually a change. Y'all eliminated my actual nominee, so I'm going for Crysis 3 here.
Get mad.
The actual nominee was CoD Ghosts, wasn't it?
Final Fantasy 14 is the best looking game I've ever set eyes on. But anyway, I think Crysis 3 wins this. Last Light, I think, is second to me because technically just
are we taking
destroys PCs.
Let's take votes.
No, we're kind of...
All right.
Crysis 3.
That's 2 for Crysis 3. Who's next?
I say Battlefield 4.
BF4.
3 and 3.
Split into the fucking damn it.
Real. Get mad.
2 winners get destroyed.
How are we settling this? We haven't
Well, we did ties last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
It's not. There is no winner. This is the round table piece.
Everybody loses.
I'm okay with this tie. I'm okay with
this. No, this is a solid tie. I think it's hard to even say, which is better. They're both so amazing.
I don't regret this as much as I still regret Game of the Year last year.
No, let's not talk about that. We're not talking about that anymore. We're not talking about that.
That didn't happen.
Nick, if you take a look at some Crysis 3 on Ultra footage,
I've played.
You'll know you don't regret this. Like, this is okay. This feels.
I thought you were talking to me.
I thought you were talking to him.
No, I'm talking to you.
And also, I voted for BF4.
Oh, yeah. I recently played Crysis 3 again on my 770 because now I can play it on Ultra. Ooh, that game.
I have to vote for BF4 because I haven't watched anything from Crysis 3, let alone played it, so...
Felix, how do we break a tie?
So Battlefield ties based on Nick Jenkins' ignorance.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
That is at Blackliteattack on Twitter. Please.
I can't emulate it on JNES, so fuck it.
So, by the way, now that chat has brought this up to me, we are going to run polls on these categories for user base.
We're going to run straw polls and then print out the results, and then I'm going to shit on them live on my channel, twitch.tv/APLFisher.
And for those, I had people express concern that there wasn't going to be an award show this year. There will still be a wrap-up show where we go over all the categories at once, and we'll also go over the user votes on that. So
I'm going to host that shit.
So to go over it again, the nominees that survived the first round of cuts: Crysis 3, Metro Last Light, Battlefield 4, Arma 3, and Total War Rome 2. And then the winners, the co-winners this year, Crysis 3 and Battlefield 4. And just to remind you, last year, if I can pull it up, who the winners were. The winners were... For Best Graphics last year, the nominees were Far Cry 3. For some god-awful reasons, Assassin's Creed 3 was a nominee. Borderlands 2 and Dishonored, and Far Cry 3 won as it should have, because that was clearly the best game last year.
I think we also took art style into account last year.
Yeah.
That was a whole mash of things.
But Far Cry 3, technically, you could definitely put a good argument, though. That was
Dishonored is another game where everybody has an asshole face.
Yeah.
Well, they've got stretched out asshole faces.
Game and you should be bad. You should feel bad about yourself if you voted for that at all last year.
My favorite kind of asshole.
The stretched out asshole faces?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like an asshole that's been, just beat.
So there you go. 2 awards down this year. Like 7 or 8 to go. So we're going to take a 2-minute commercial break, last break of the evening, and then we're going to come back with the viewer questions, including a Katie Zen gem.
Oh, lordy.
Tease the Katie Zen.
Don't want to miss it.
Don't touch that dial.
That was a good discussion. That was a better discussion than I thought it was going to be.
It was good.
The Battlefield 4 love is real.
It's a good game, man.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. I haven't played with anybody because fuck y'all.
I think art style is going to be a crazy category.
It's going to be a rough week, yeah.
That's so subjective.
It is subjective, but
Counter-Strike Go doesn't win for best art style. I'm never going to cast again. So
brown and green military men shooting each other on brown and green.
Have you seen what
maps.
they did with Dust 2? GG. It's beautiful.
I can't.
It's beautiful.
So beautiful.
Man.
By the way, Tristan V, the guy who I yelled at about the Beyond Two Souls, it's okay, man.
No, fuck you.
Okay. Also, your Twitter name is awesome.
It's fine, but if I ever catch Beyond Two Souls drinking from my water fountain, there's going to be problems. That's all I got to say. You know how it works.
Rohan already tweeting at me. Come on, dude. Why didn't Arma 3 win Best Graphics?
Because it doesn't have the best graphics.
Because it didn't look the best.
Did you run the commercial brand?
I feel like Rohan, I feel like Arma 3, like him and it got into bed and they did dirty things together, and he said that it was going to win.
That kid has like 1,500 hours in Arma 2, so...
Oh, well, there you go. How could he be unbiased in that category?
Speaking of shitty games.
Yeah. Jesus. God, I was just check kill cam. Oh, you put the winky face on there. Thank Jesus. 780 Ti or new console? Go to hell.
Right. Only slept with Arma 2.
Depends on what your current card is.
2000.
The answer.
My answer is to wait for the 800 series. That's my answer.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't be getting a 780 Ti. Because if you can afford a 780 Ti, you should just also get a new console. You clearly have cash for it.
You have a lot of money.
Yeah, with this money you're spending on 7 Ti, you could almost get both consoles. Almost.
You could get both consoles.
All right, we're back.
You can play fucking Madden on the Ignite engine like a beast.
Dan, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the podcast. If you ever say the words Madden again, I'm gonna kill you.
I heard that Madden runs like garbage. I heard if
you're still buying Madden, you're probably a sophomore in high school who wears a snapback to the side.
I can't.
Or somebody who lures women into the house so that you can kill
people
them.
said Metal Gear is a good reason to get a console. Rumor has it it's coming to PC this time. So
Metal Gear, really?
Oh,
I wish they had done that before Metal Gear started sucking.
Revengeance will be out for PC as well soon. So
is it Metal Gear Solid 1? No, don't care.
Yeah, pretty much. 1, 2, or 3. After that, I don't give a shit.
No, 2's garbage.
And now it's time for Twitter questions with the KBMOD podcast.
I like viewer questions as we head towards the 2-hour mark, as we steam towards it.
So much steam.
At SkyJW asked, do any of you have any great revenge or karma stories? Example, an asshole at school getting what they deserved.
Do you mean like a literal asshole getting what it deserved?
Yeah, like getting fucked.
Like a nice asshole just getting fucked. I have a lot of those stories.
Sorry, Hex, I shared the award doc with you. I just saw that. Anyway, does anyone have any stories on this? I truly could not think of one.
Like a good revenge.
I don't
None that I
think
could
I have
share.
one.
I really hate to break it to you, but the world sucks and bad people get away with bad shit all the time, so...
The best revenge story I have is all of the people that I used to play games with before I played stuff in KBMOD. I had this little group of friends that we played like D&D and computer games. They all went to like college for a long time for ITS degrees and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on these degrees. I'm the most successful out of any of them. I make more money than they'll ever make. And I have a fucking high school diploma. Hope that college degree worked out for you, fuckers.
I don't know if that's really like bad people getting what they deserve so much as people kind of misled.
No, that's an example of a bad person getting what he didn't deserve.
That's actually the opposite of what this question was supposed to be.
Further illustrating my point.
Good things happening to bad people. Right, Nick? Am I right?
Yeah, you are right. You are correct.
That was God.
Like,
Jesus Christ.
So I was hoping college. Scott usually has a story for everything, but
no, I mean, really good revenge stories. I'm still in. There's a lot of mine are still in progress. So we'll see how.
Wait, are you the perpetrator of these?
Scott, there's one that I know, but we can't talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Just like one time I was in the drink aisle at a convenience store, and I was sitting, and like the skinny ass kid comes in. And he was just skinny, nerdy, maybe like 10 years younger than me. He had to be like 14. And he like walks in, he like looks me dead in the eye and just puts a Red Bull in his pocket. I was like, well, I guess he's gonna pay for that because he's a fucking nerd. Like he's not gonna steal that shit. And then I see him just hustle the fuck out of there, like just go. And you know what? And you're like, oh man, that guy fucking stole something. I can't believe he just stole something. So I went and I went up to the lady at the counter and I was like, I mean. This kid just stole something. I mean, I would have tried to stop him or like said something before he left the store, but he completely blindsided me. I didn't think he was going to be that kind of kid. And like, you know what ended up happening? He got a free Red Bull. That was it. Nothing happened. He got away with it. Bad things are done, and then there's no consequence.
That was the best setup for that shit ever.
That kid got a free Red Bull. Good on him. He gamed the system. Wawa's out $1.50 or fucking whatever for $3.
Jesus, so true. No, Wawa's out like 75 cents. Like they paid fucking retail.
That's it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, this is a depressing question. Mostly people get away with bad shit.
It's more a depressing answer.
I will say, Katie Zen was a good example in chat, if you guys didn't see it. I went to go get a straw at lunch at school. When I returned to my table, this large white man was eating my food, insulting me, inviting me to step up. I then poured my chocolate milk beverage all over his clothes. Teacher stepped in before our conflict could begin. I do remember screaming, "Who a bitch, nah!"
God.
Chocolate milk beverage.
I just like the way he spelled bitch, so you have to pronounce
bitch, nah.
I do have this is a fucked up story. I don't know how great. This isn't really a revenge story. It's just a story of someone getting justice. But I used to work all through high school. I worked at like different fast food places. I worked at Dunkin' Donuts serving coffee to a bunch of fucking New England assholes for a long time. But my boss at the Dunkin' Donuts I worked at for a year was the biggest classic grade A perv you could ever meet, and he would always try to fuck any of the new employees that would come in. But all the new employees at Dunkin' Donuts that I work with were like 45-year-old women and not attractive at all. So I didn't understand that, but he was like in his 50s. And at one point, a tearful lady that worked with me told me that he had like groped her or something in the bathroom. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, yeah. So it was like pretty serious. So I was like, all right, well, I said, you should go to the police. She's like, no, he says he'll fire me if you do that. I'm like, fuck, what are you talking about? I was like, go to the cops. She was so scared about her job, all this shit. Finally, I convinced her to go to the cops. She did, and we got to watch him get arrested right in front of a whole bunch of customers and like kicking and screaming out the door, screaming at the woman that he was going to find her and hurt her, which is really good in front of a police officer to do.
Yeah, good idea. To also
that's a good revenge story.
So he got, I mean, I don't know if it's a revenge story. It's just someone getting justice. But
I just realized I have a karma story, and it's on myself. So,
that's a bad reminder.
Gatman with a good one. I killed my parole officer because he was a confirmed snitch. Justice served. Oh, goddamn. All right, go ahead, Nick.
When I was 16, I had ordered a random-ass MP3 player from, like, China or something, and I was really excited for it. So I faked sick that day, and this was in the middle of December in Minnesota. So I walk out to the mailbox and, like jeans and a t-shirt, expecting to not be out there for very long. Walking down the icy driveway, fall and break my fibia, dislocate my ankle, and tear tendons on the top of my foot. And that was great. That was good. So there's my karma story. I faked sick for a Chinese MP3 player, and I had lots of medical bills.
Wow. That is
Jesus.
That is pretty good.
Hey, but at least you could listen to music in the hospital.
Well, hey, actually, I don't know. Talking about the convenience store thing actually did remind me of a somewhat real one. I used to work at GameStop, and we had this new district manager come in who just like tore everything up.
Something bad should happen to you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, fuck me, right? So we had this new district manager. He came in, he ruined everything. He made life horrible, and he would fire people at the drop of a hat. Like one person went out for a smoke break after he had outlawed smoke breaks. Like who the fuck does that? So one of my coworkers would like clean the windows like 3 times a day so he could smoke a cigarette, and so we fired him for that with no warning. My one coworker who was former coworker was now managing another store who got put on probation due to things that his predecessor had done, not him. So he was on probation, and he was like, "Now this and this can happen when you're on probation. All your employees can get you fired just for fucking up." And he was like, "Oh man, if any of my employees get me fired, I'm gonna kill them." And he was like, okay. And then immediately after he was done with his meeting with him, ran off to HR and said that he threatened his employees and got that guy fired. Good friend of mine over that. So this guy was just on a tear, just firing everybody. And what he was doing was he was originally from Erie, Lake Erie area, the other side of Pennsylvania, and was moving his friends from his old district into our district. He was
coming in on your turf.
Yeah, no, he was literally firing like all of my friends.
You gotta stab a bitch then. That's all you can do.
So one of the guys he fired was our neighboring store, who was basically the guy who was managing the store was the only reason it was in business. It was in a shit location in a shit town, and he knew all of his customers by like the back of his hand, like they were family to him. Everybody loved this guy. He fired that guy, I forget why, for like no reason. And a year to the day after he fired him, that store closed down due to lack of business. A year to the day that store closed down, and then about a month later, the guy was out on his ass because he was a terrible manager because he tried to just shoehorn in all of his bros. That's what happened.
So don't be human garbage.
Yeah, don't be a complete piece of shit. I would punch that guy in the face if I saw him. Like, I am not a violent person. I do not want to get in trouble with the law, but I would punch him in his fucking mouth if I saw him. If I saw him just walking down the street, I would hit him in the throat.
So, speaking of human garbage,
sucker punch.
I had a teacher in high school.
Nice.
And we all really liked this guy. I've told similar stories to this dude before, actually. He was our journalism teacher, and so we had to go to Harrisburg, which is the capital city in Pennsylvania, for like a high school newspaper awards show thingy. And we got put up in like a nice hotel there. We just got to hang out in Harrisburg, which was fucking boring as shit. But anyway, we got to hang out there for like a weekend. And we're high school kids, so we hung out at this diner the whole time, which was actually awesome. Like, we couldn't drink or anything, so... but this dude had apparently been trying to, like, get with a bunch of students, and we didn't really know it till then, and he invited two girls that I know and still talk to this day, like, up to his room, and then, like, wouldn't let them leave. Like, nothing ended up happening, but he just, like, was being super creep town with it, and wouldn't let them leave. It's actually
that guy.
They might, but this is actually also the trip on which I met my wife, so that's pretty cool. But the rest of the strip was kind of
She
dark.
wasn't one of the girls, was she?
No, she was not one of the girls, actually. It was her friends who we still see to this day.
Actually, Dan was the guy, and
Both of the girls were Dan's wife.
No.
Dan made me clean out his that second girl is still down there.
So this guy tried to get with these girls and failed miserably. And then he ended up he had a kid with his wife and ended up naming the kid after one of the girls.
Oh my god, that's so fucked
up. Creepy.
I think I remember you telling this story actually. Maybe not on the podcast.
Yeah. No, I've told parts of this over time. So
yeah, because it's still unfolding because it's you.
So Instant Messenger was a thing, back then. AOL Instant Messenger. Apparently, he'd been trying to cyber with all these girls.
Jesus. Oh my god!
And so this all came out later, and he got fired for it. While we were still in high school.
You don't say.
He got let go, and so we years later, Megan was going to the art school in Pittsburgh, and there was a porn shop. I've told this story before. Oh, no. There was a porn shop still downtown at that point. Just one was left, and her bus stop was right in front of the porn shop. And one day, who comes strolling out of the porn shop looking fucking disheveled as hell and out on his ass? High school English teacher, dude. And he goes, and he just turns to Megan because he thought she was one of the people who snitched on him. He's just like, "Fuck you," walked away. He was like, "Fuck you, Turner," and then just walked away. What the hell, dude?
Because the girls who snitched on him are definitely the ones at fault here.
Yeah. So it turns out though that after all that happened, his wife left him with their newborn, and he can't teach anymore. Obviously,
that was
nobody will hire
at our school. We had a guy at our school that did that same thing. Confirmed, actually did it for years with a girl that was in the band at the time, and the little tiny town that I came from and little community I came from. Swept it under the rug, and he left Pennsylvania and teaches in Texas now. He's a teacher somewhere out there who molested a high school girl for years, and it's just are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, going back to there is no justice, but I had a teacher who wasn't a molester, but there was a teacher who was. Well, I mean, I say molester, but really he was in a relationship with a 16-year-old girl, and yes, that's wrong. I wouldn't really call that molesting anybody because it was consensual, but. Whatever happened, so I had this teacher that I fucking hated. He was my programming teacher. He sucked. He didn't teach a goddamn thing. He basically assigned us to just read some chapters out of the book and then just tested us on what we had read. Is this going to
end with you seducing your teacher and then getting him in jail?
Yeah, fucked him in the ass and then got his dumb ass fired. And he's the gay one because I'm the one who fucked him.
Well, I was the pitcher, dude. He just took it right to town. God damn.
So,
Lord.
So, anyway, what actually happened was... I graduated completely uneventful. Nothing happened. This other teacher was a math teacher, and the guy who taught programming was mainly a math teacher, but also taught programming on the side. So one of the other math teachers was in this long-term relationship with a 16-year-old student. Was giving her pot and alcohol, and she she grabs his phone during one of these trysts and looks at it and finds out that he's been flirting with another girl. Who's also one of her friends or something, another 16-year-old. So she snitches on him, not because it was fucked up and she felt abused or anything, but because she was jealous because he got greedy.
I feel that's not what you do.
Yeah, you would think, but no. And this guy was ugly. He was old and fat. I had no idea how he's fine. And apparently the girl was really hot. I didn't see the girl, but apparently everybody was saying she was super hot 16-year-old. So. He goes down hard. He's in the newspapers every day for 6 months. And a bunch of other teachers got fired too. And one of them was my shitty teacher that I hated because he knew something about the whole incident. This guy confided something to him and he didn't come forward with this information soon enough. And he got fucked. And now he does real estate, I think. So fuck that guy.
And he's probably making more than he did when he was a teacher.
No, probably not, because the school just around here is super, super nice and the teachers get paid a ridiculous amount. So
now we get to a question about consensual love between people of the same age. Fat Attack 82.
That's boring.
What is the best way to ask someone if you...
Sonnet.
The best way to ask someone if you can enter them?
Sonnet. It's definitely in a sonnet.
Why would you ask?
Wow.
All right.
I
like to hold up a hoop earring and say, "This is going in your ass," and then I'm gonna put my balls in it. That's
what
the face.
Would you just carry
Vlad just immediately to moonballing.
I just sidle up next to somebody at the bar, just slide into the seat real smooth, and be like, "Look, I just want to throw something on the table here, and you tell me whether you're down." Yes or no, it's fine. You can keep it one word answer. It's fine. Hoop earring, your asshole, my balls. That's.
I agree with the. I think the honesty.
Just.
Chat with a good suggestion. Use this line: "Girl, you a fine slam piece. Let me tickle your beehole." And I think that's probably gonna work.
I think people underestimate the
life right there.
Yeah, honesty as a means to getting it in. You just be honest, man. You just be honest with.
Who was going on this rant? Blah. That's who it was. Blah ranting about the friend zone a couple weeks ago. Oh, yeah. People should just be fucking honest.
Blah. You know how there's no friend zone? If you ask people on a consistent basis whether you can stick it in, because either they'll never talk to you again or you're getting laid. And that's it.
Yeah, here's true.
The problem with this whole friend zone bullshit is people tend to, I don't know, I think people get caught up in the whole like Hollywood movie bullshit where the guy is rejected 17,000 times and then he finally proves his worth through some grand romantic gesture and she's all into that. In real life, that's fucking creepy. Don't do that. And then on the flip side, if somebody's gunning hard at you and you keep saying like, "Oh, I'm not into you right now. I'm not in a place in my life where I can really do a relationship," etc. All these bullshit pussy softball answers, that's just going to make that person think that there's like a 1% chance, and that's a 1% chance they need to be the hero in their fucking fucked up plot that's in their head. Don't do that shit. Don't even give them the opportunity. Just say, "No, I'm not into you. It's not going to happen." That's not even friend zone. None of this. I think we should be friends. Bullshit. That's
boom.
And then on top of that, if you honestly think that like every girl is like you are entitled to a girlfriend because you're a nice guy, fuck you. Nice guy is like the baseline. That's what you should be. Like just borderline. Just have friends. You should be nice. And then as far as anything beyond that, that entitles you to shit. Get over yourself.
See, I think I will follow you has it down.
Boom.
Go to somebody at a bar and be like, "Girl, can I tongue punch your fought box?" And then you're in.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a John classic. So next question dips a little deeper, even, you might say.
Got my balls in somebody.
I'm going to try to read this. Mimi asks.
I'm clearing my throat getting ready for this.
A tippity-bippity-ibbity kippy-fippy mip dips the cock banana and kip snips his pips. That's the question. I would say yes is the answer.
I'm a huge fan of your show, Mr. Cosby. And I thought that those women leveraging those accusations against you was completely unfair.
I would agree. You're echoing. I don't know why. Who's echoing?
Somebody's echoing.
All right, they're not echoing now. Okay, that's good. So yes, that was the theme song of Pippi Longstocking, and let me read it out in a non-Cosby voice. Tippy bipty ippy kip yit fippy mip dips the cock obana kip snips his pips. That's I mean,
don't know what it means, but I'm hard.
I would answer pudding pop.
Yeah.
Yellow boarded.
I don't know why I decided to take a drink right when you said that. I haven't taken a drink the whole cast, and then
failure.
That happens.
Yeah.
Well, you put the boobazoo in your dibba-doo, and then you go down. All right.
Then you got banana cock.
So Anion asks, if you were all in the same high school, who would be in which clique? I.e., Dan with the Geek Squad, Blah with the Pokemon crew.
Did those not overlap?
Those did overlap hard.
Overlap.
Those overlapped pretty hard.
In high school, I actually hung out with.
No, that's not the question. That's not the question. If we were all in the same high school,
we'd all be in the fucking geek-ass loser group.
No, that's speak for yourself.
I'd be a hipster old dude. I think I'd be a hipster old dude.
We're in high school. You're not an old dude.
Like now, here's the question.
I'd be like a senior. I'd be a senior.
Here's the question: are we all in the same high school? in a teenage form that more represents how we are, that more resembles how we are now, or are we all in the same high school as we were in high school?
At the age, yeah, that's a
at that age.
I think as we are now. I think as we are now.
I'm pretty different than I was in high school.
Yeah, I think as we are now is the question.
If it was not a question, I would just be angry and bitter at all the morons around me at that point. Like, God, you're all so fucking stupid. You're 16, you don't know anything. You're so dumb.
16, they don't know anything.
No. I think we either have to assume that we're all in high school at the time, at our high school age, or we assume that we're all in the same high school now with the same, like, with the people that we were in high school with, but as they are now. I don't think we can say we're in the same high school as, like, a mixture of 20 and 30-somethings with a bunch of 16-year-olds.
I don't want shit to do with the people I went to high school with.
No. Same.
Well, if we're in high school, I was actually hung out more with, like, jocks, to be honest, in high school. I played a lot of video games myself, but I hung out. I played a lot of sports in high school.
I didn't really have a clique. Yeah. I had my group of friends, but we weren't, like, I think you would be hard-pressed to label us as anything.
Same. I was in that same category. I hung out with people from all walks of life.
I didn't really discriminate too much.
I floated around so many different cliques. Like I hung out with nerds. I hung out with fucking goths, and I hung out with like the super popular kids. It was just like you don't really have to worry about cliques when you're not an asshole.
We didn't really have that many like stereotypical cliques in our school. It was
I actually didn't really either.
Really mixed. I looked up to Grandpappy a bunch. Grandpappy was my role model.
That's fair. I think he's a nerd, though.
I think we all do.
I was in like with the IT kids and the chorus kids, but that included like everyone in my entire high school. So,
I mean, in general, high school is
fucking
just
nerds.
Yeah.
I was a giant fucking nerd in high school.
Our high school,
Nintendo and fixing.
I played basketball in middle school. I played tennis and hockey in high school.
My high school was weird. We did like we totally got past the whole clique thing. Our prom king, who was not elected, like ironically, by the way, was this huge fucking nerd, like the nerdiest nerd you could possibly picture. Coke bottle glasses, bad fucking teeth. He had like the corner of his mouth all the time.
I was the Winterfest queen, so
that's solid.
Gommel.
It's solid.
The thing is, though, in high school, by the time your senior year, like, at least for me, everybody was friends with everybody. Like, no one gave a shit anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
I feel like in freshman year, it was the most cliquey.
Yeah.
And then, like, gradually, like, everybody was just like, we don't care.
Yeah.
I was voted Winterfest queen. I was then immediately called into the guidance office.
Is this a real thing that happened?
This is a real thing that happened.
This is my favorite story about Dan.
Yeah, I haven't heard this.
I was voted Winterfest queen. I actually got my girlfriend at the time on board with escorting me to
Amazing.
It was all girls and me, and I won. I was written in and won. Our class is a bunch of dicks. So I had to go into the guidance office, and the guidance counselor was like, Dan, I have to ask you a serious question. I know you got voted in legitimately as Winterfest queen, but these girls are really upset.
See, the thing is, if you did that in 2013, there'd be a whole thing about equality and like
how you identify.
Yeah, how you identify as your gender and like.
You totally could have played off the plight of actual transgendered people to make that legit.
It wasn't even that. It was just like people were like, it'd be really funny to vote Dan in as well.
Yeah, no, obviously.
Like, that was the actual attitude behind it.
That's fantastic. I love it.
So I won and I got called in, and they were like, these girls are super upset, man. Like, could you just like let the runner up?
You should have been like, yeah, that bitches are just jealous of my swagger. I'm fabulous. I'm out there, I'm sparkling, and they're all mad.
Well, it was just basically, I honestly was just like, well, this is kind of awesome, but yeah, I guess I'll concede. Like, I didn't even put up a fight with it, but
nice guy, Dan.
Yeah, I allowed the second place girl to be the Winterfest queen.
Allowed.
You won. You'll always know in your heart, though. I could have said no.
I could have said no, and then there would have been a lawsuit.
Fair.
Well, they made that choice easy for you.
Yeah,
that's gender inequality. Men.
It was pretty sweet, but that actually happened. Last
Men and
question.
women are equal. Apparently not at a fucking vote for a high school event.
Yeah, it was Winterfest Queen was the actual title. It was for girls, just like Homecoming Queen. There was no king for that particular dance, so it's just like
smash the matriarch.
So were they just like went out and twirled? Like what happened if they won? Like
your high school is fucked up. I'm telling our men's rights.
Very traditional town that I grew up in. Very traditional.
Oh God!
Last question from your boy, KDZen18. He is requesting that Brandon read this question.
God.
I
So
don't know if it's possible.
Nice.
I'm going to defer.
Dan does it every month.
Oh God.
I'm going to defer unless you want me to do it, Brandon.
I mean, I can try. Katie's N18 asks, how to get God Gun in COD Toasts. Queed try breed dot site on fad adult refill plus tips and M period E period M period E period stroke question mark plus HSX5 dash optic preed 9.
So, if
someone else can translate.
If I had to translate this,
How to get?
I think he wants to know how to get a good gun.
Yes.
In COD Ghosts.
That's
Yes.
no,
No,
toast
COD Toast, that's
is
the first
spelled
DLC.
correctly. He is referring to the game COD Toasts, a co-marketing effort with Life Cereal.
I would eat that shit.
Oh,
you kidding me? I don't know if Dick Fan could afford it.
He said we could try the bread site.
Nick would COD Toast
the red
the best day of his life.
Well,
the red dot site.
Yeah.
On the FAD. On the FAD.
Assault.
The bread dot site. Oh, that's incredible.
He wants tips in his Mimi stroke.
That I'm not getting.
And
I think that's like that. Is that supposed to be?
No, I believe
what is that a meme strike?
I believe what he's saying is he's talking about a red dot site and tips and memes, and then in the question he's questioning whether or not he has had a stroke.
Something we ask ourselves every time we ask the
it's supposed to be like a chem strike.
Oh, a chem strike. Okay, KM strike.
That's what it is.
And then is he asking for Headshot X5 optic predator clips?
No, I don't know.
I think he's signing off. That's his signature.
He's signing his optic bread.
Okay.
What does HSX5 mean?
Headshots X5.
Has to be,
like XOXOXO, but it's Headshots X5.
Oh,
okay.
His Predator always hitting them clips.
That's how real gamers sign off.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the best question ever.
Let me put it this way. This question came from a man who streamed Dino Horde for 24 hours.
Yeah.
So
he did have a stroke then.
He may have had a stroke. I mean,
you're just waiting for an aneurysm or something to happen.
It's a direct quote from Optic Predator?
No.
Oh my god.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. But I don't know how to get a good gun in COD Ghosts because it's a shit game.
Well, good thing he's not asking about COD Ghosts.
He's talking about
COD Toasts.
He wants the God gun in COD Ghosts.
Like, do you remember the Chex game that came on the PC game?
This is the
Doom
same
clone?
deal.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but with COD. I would. What was it, Chex Quest? Was that what it was called?
Yeah, this would actually be. I actually want this to be a real thing. Cinnamon Toast Crunch with COD toasts and a bread dot site.
I'm pretty sure in order to get I'm pretty sure in order to get Chex Quest working, you would have to DOSBox it. So I might run that on emulation station.
I just want to.
I might have to play Chex Quest.
We're talking about cereal right now, and I want to mention something. I went to the grocery store before the podcast, and they have all berries Captain Crunch cereal.
Yeah, dude, they've had that for like 10 years.
Yeah. It's all berries.
10 years ago.
Yeah,
I accidentally put peanut butter Cap'n Crunch on the grocery list because I use a grocery list app, and I just hit Cap'n Crunch, and Hillary actually got peanut butter. And
you like razor blades in
you're
your
wrong.
mouth?
I like it.
It's the best cereal.
Yeah, you like razor blades in your mouth?
You don't like peanut butter Captain Crunch? What the fuck is wrong with you?
It doesn't even compare to regular Captain Crunch. This is not.
If you're getting anything peanut butter flavored in cereal and you're not getting Reese's Puffs, you fucked up.
Yeah, Reese's Puffs are so good.
I already claimed I made an error.
I want some Reese's Puffs
on
right
the grocery
now.
list.
God damn it.
I know, seriously. This is man, that's so good. I'm just imagining it, and I have to rub my nipples.
I think this might be the longest
2.5 hour podcast.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jesus.
Welcome to me downloading FLV files and the hell that entails to put this to YouTube. But thank you so much for coming out, guys. Make sure you check us out on Twitter at KBMOD Gaming, and all our Twitters should be on the screen for you. Make sure you follow each of us on Twitter.
Don't follow me, you idiot.
Mine's not on there.
Definitely.
Why would you follow me ever? Brandon doesn't even follow me.
Brandon doesn't follow anyone.
I don't follow Hex for different reasons than I don't follow you, Nick.
Brandon only follows
so happy you don't follow me. I can't even describe.
Brandon only.
I don't know why I follow you, to be perfectly honest.
But we have been posting good chunky YouTube videos, so go check those out. youtube.com/KBMODgaming. And of course, the streams continue. AJ Likes Gaming starting up again on Saturdays very soon. So make sure to check that out. And we will be putting up those award polls this week, hopefully. Talk to Sean.
Quick announcement: if you use our Mumble to play games, we're going to be switching over to a new Mumble that should be better and more awesome. So
yes,
that'll be